Well, good morning, everybody. We have got some breaking news. It's almost as important as Tina's broken shoulder. Oh my gosh. But I have to come back to this comment from Lisa Boo. I do. She said the vagrant pedophiles surrounding the case are so disgusting. Before we do Mean Girls and tell everybody hi, I have breaking news. But it's totally up to you if you want to change my mind. Okay, good morning, everybody. Today is April 1st, 2026, and I am announcing my departure from YouTube. That is right. I believe I have done all I can do around here. I have decided to run for governor of Oklahoma. It feels that these rednecks and roughnecks need a lot of help around here. And so I am putting my hat in the ring. Now what I need is for all of us to give me some super chats because I need $12,000 to put my name on the ballot. And I know someone in here has it. I know they do. Lisa Boo, how much money's in your account? We can divide this by 129. If not, you're going to see my fat ass back here on YouTube tomorrow. So it's totally up to you. Okay? The state of affairs in Oklahoma lays on all of you, and I would make a great governor. I know exactly where I would start with these fucking schools and these pedophiles. Okay? I've already got ideas for hats, t-shirts, who's gonna play Santa Claus at the Claremore Parade and the PSO Parade, all of them. I have got shit down. So do I have your vote? Well, the only person here can really vote for me is Melanie. Melanie, do I have your vote? It's going to be great. Kimberly Denny. Okay. She said, oh, I can cover that, Brooks, ASAP. Should I shut the show down now or wait till I get my 12 grand? I'll wait for the 12 grand and we'll just keep moving forward. All right. You know what today is? It is, besides April Fool's Day. Oh, Walking Dead. You're so smart civically. Brooks for governor, you got my vote. You live in another state, but you're so cute. Thank you. Thank you for your vote of confidence. But I can send you a free t-shirt once I get my 12 grand from Kimberly Denny, okay? If anyone else has some money to put in for my campaign, much appreciated, because driving to these podunk towns is not going to be cheap, okay? Not going to be cheap. I mean, I only know like 3 or 4 rich people, so I keep them in my back pocket. I had to realign my friendship between Kat and Pat because I realized Kat might have more money. So she's a little closer to the hip now. Susan has a lot of money, but she's very, what is the word I want to say? Jew is the wrong word. Let's see. Susan just does not part with money. She just doesn't. So there's no point in asking her, okay? She has dust on her wallet. Let me put it that way. Frugal is the word. Frugal is on the word. Yeah, that's one thing. So that's okay. I mean, if anything ever happens to Susan, I'm going to ask her children for her wallet because I'm going to donate it to the Smithsonian. Other than that, there's a few others, but Kimberly already put up the 12 grand for me to run for governor, and the rest is up for you. I've got everything in an Amazon shopping cart. Okay. I've got everything in there. I will put my, oh God, she's always horny. Look at Susan. Oh, talking about her being tight. She goes, let's leave my sex life out of it. God damn. Would you stop You could pick up a cantaloupe with that thing. I know how you get down, you crazy thing. So I have an entire Amazon wish list. Brooks for governor. Okay? Brooks for governor. Now we know what today is, and I think we figured out yesterday with the 2 shows who cannot sit with this, because the chick that lied to the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation on the show yesterday. Bad, 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 bad. Bad, bad. Bad, bad. Happy 30 months to you, Tina King. And she just broke her shoulder and she had to have surgery. She's got plates in it. And doing like the future governor of Oklahoma would do, she tripped over a fan. You know, some of the worst injuries I've ever had is from, well, usually my big fat fucking mouth, but it's usually like 1 foot in front of the other. Okay, 1 foot in front of the other. Love you too, boy mama. Love you too. You guys are the best. Love the milestones. No, she lied to the TBI, and this is a ring of PEDs. I mean, these people are vagrants. I've never had a conversation with anyone that knows what church you can go to eat for free. I've never had that conversation before in my life, ever. But let's take a second and tell everyone happy Hump Day.
Oh, guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Huh? Anybody? Julie, hey, guess what day it is? Oh, come on, I know you can hear me. Mike. What day is it, Mike? Leslie, guess what today is?
It's Hump Day.
Woo-hoo!
It is. And we wear pink, drive pink, think about pink, have pink on our toenails, or just have pink in the closet. But we have a pink spirit every Wednesday. Oh, we do. I've got on my pink Okie Pride t-shirt. I just have to get the governor patches put on the sleeves. Okay, that's what I have to do. But I'm waiting on my 12 grand from Kimberly. My goodness, so much was going on yesterday. Hey, paper slut, what's up? No queens. Ooh, you're in the right country. Well, hey, Karen. I'm off work, so caught you guys live. Love you, girl. Love you too. Hey, spicy lady. Thanks for the pink hearts. Let's go ahead and tell everybody good morning. Let everybody get settled in. Let's get settled in because we got some juicy stuff to go through today. And it all, by the way, even though some people say it doesn't, goes back to Little Summer Wells. All right, let me ask you all, what did you think about what Lisa said yesterday? She met the Wells in 2005. Now that would be Pam and Dawn. Okay, right here. There's Pam. All right. Don't forget, Summer called her grandma. We all know who that dirty bastard is. Okay. And I have a little word for Lisa Jetson. If the conversation keeps turning back on you, because she kept throwing things at me, it is not a misunderstanding, it is deflection. When someone cannot defend their actions and they attack. Remember, Corey's grandmother was attacked on this channel yesterday. If you didn't hear it, go back and listen. I thought Susan was going to drive her ass to Arkansas and go kill Bill on someone. They attack your character instead. they shift. That shift protects them while leaving you confused and unheard. I wasn't confused. I was not confused. I was not confused. I mean, I flat out told her, no one is going to talk to Rebecca that way around me. No, 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 no. I have never seen a family fight harder for justice. And I know I'm going to get in trouble for that because people are going to say, what about this person? What about this person? No, I get it. Everyone fights hard. Everyone fights hard. But what Rebecca and her daughter Bree did and their whole family, they took on the system. Two Boston moms said, what? Yeah. When Vagrant Lisa was up here yesterday, she attacked Corey Mikulo's grandma. Hang on, let me bring her up because I want to make sure she's okay. Again, no one is going to talk to Rebecca that way around me. And it's a wonder that Susan didn't find that link and come up. It's probably a good thing. It's probably a good thing because it would have been really bad. Okay, so I want to clear one thing up. Something that seemed to be misunderstood yesterday with the tents that were bought in Springdale, Arkansas. I don't know what Candace did with them, but Justin, where are you at? Lisa K. Ruitz sent me the receipts. Okay. He ordered them June 19th, 2023, almost 3 years ago. Can you believe how time flies? And then he bought 2 Pacific Pass 2-person family tents. Now I have the address too. I didn't find it needful. I mean to put it up. Was that necessary, OJ? Was that necessary? Was that necessary? Did everyone hear that? Here she is. Oh my gosh. Okay. Again, no one's going to talk to Rebecca that way around us. Was that necessary? Did everyone hear that? Oh, you have your YouTube on, baby. Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay. Again, no one's going to talk to Rebecca that way around us. Can you turn your YouTube off, honey?
Let me just.
Oh, you have your YouTube on, baby. Yes.
Let me get out.
Okay. Again, no one's going to talk to Rebecca that way.
I should be off. Can you hear me?
I can't. But you still have something in the background.
Let me just see. Maybe it's the TV. I don't know. I should be off. I don't know why it's echoing. I don't have it on.
But you still have something in the background. Do you have the YouTube app on?
No, I don't now. I turned it off.
Yeah. Well, see if you can get out and like check your apps on your phone and then come back in. Do you have the YouTube app on?
No, I don't now. I turned it off. I don't know. Is it better now or it's still the same?
Well, see if you can get out and like check your apps on your phone.
Yeah, let me go out and I'll come back in.
Okay, honey.
All right.
We'll do that. Okay, she'll be back in a second. No, I did not like that at all. Okay, so if anybody wants to take a screenshot of these, Justin texted them to me. Here you go. Do I know if any homeless people got these tents? Do not know. Do not know. Did Candace and Lisa possibly sell them? I don't know. But Lisa is not going to sit there and tell anyone anymore that she's not in contact with these people. It's impossible. She was with them in 2023. Okay? 2023. That's only 3 years ago. And she was more than aware of what was going on. She was aware in 2005. She was aware when all of her children were taken. She was aware when she was in the house with Dawn and Pam for 4 hours, and Arkansas Child Protective Services removed all the kids out of the shed. There's way more wells than the wells, and I see now why the case hasn't been solved. Let's go back to what the DA, who I'm not a fan of, what he has said.
This is a very complicated issue that has been made more complicated by the players in this drama.
Nope.
And Justin is a good dude, okay? Justin doesn't do things like that. I mean, who's really going to sit there and accuse Justin of doing something naughty when he sent tents to homeless people? You know, it was like one thing after another. I'm going to put the link back up again. Uh-oh. Oh, angry little beaver. I did not mean for it to go that way, but that PO, I'll tell you what, made a lot of people upset yesterday, especially people who have been listening to her for years. I am not one of them. Okay? I am not one of them. I was not aware that Francis was with the boogeyman, and now Francis is with Chad Arnold. I was not aware that she was that tight in the homeless community. I was not aware that she had kids in a shed while she was hanging out with Dawn and Pam looking for the next free meal at the church. Sorry, I was not aware. I've had other things to do since 2005. I did not know. I've heard some things here and there, but I'm like, really? Really? That sounds pretty far-fetched. I knew it was all 100% true when I called the TBI and she lied to them. And I know exactly how she lied to them. All right, Rebecca's back. What up, girlfriend?
Can you hear me? Am I okay now? No echo?
Oh, you're fine, honey. Don't worry about it. I'm very sorry about the way that she was talking. You all you did was ask a question.
Right.
And I mean, it's like we were talking this morning. You're like, we're like, connect the predators, connect the homeless dots.
Yeah, I was very respectful to her. I told her if she didn't want to answer, she wasn't obligated to answer. She just wanted to scream. And that usually means that there's something, we triggered something in her. Normally when someone behaves like that, it's because we're getting close to the truth and they deflect.
Well, she did. And when I said, no, you're not going to talk to her that way. Her grandson, I mean, I went through all of that. And that's what Pam Tate was having a conniption about this morning. She was like, she didn't even give condolences. I'm like, listen, even Lisa makes homeless people look bad. Okay? And what's really fucked up is she's homeless by choice. She's not mentally ill. She's not someone with PTSD. She enjoys that life. You ought to see her fucking cardboard signs where she stands outside and gets money.
Oh my God. Wow. I mean, we caught her in lies yesterday when I asked if, she had been in contact with the Wells after Summer disappeared. She said no, but then yet she met them at a church. So what is it? You've been in contact with them or you haven't? And why lie about it?
Well, she did meet him at a church. She met Dawn's stepdaughter. That's Pamela Wells' daughter. Her name is also Pam. I wasn't there. I'm just going off of what she said. And then next thing you know, she gets connected with them. And then through the homeless community, she knows about Candace having that baby taken away for drugs. Then Candace is picked up by Dawn and Pam from another one of the churches. She thinks it could be the Seven Trails homeless shelter. And they brought her back to their house. And well, we know what happened then because we're sitting here right now. Kylie has a question. Poor Rebecca got attacked for what? That's a good question. I'll let Rebecca answer that.
Well, I mean, what, on yesterday's show, it was just because I was asking hard questions that she didn't want to answer.
Mhm.
You know, I think it's questions that anybody would have had. I came in late, so I was kind of behind, and I just wanted to know how she found out about Summer. Are they friends? Did they call her? Did she live on that property? Because that's where I was confused. I didn't realize that she lived on their property in Arkansas and not in Tennessee. And that's what I was trying to establish. But she just wanted to yell and scream and curse quite a bit, which I do that too. I mean, I do curse a lot. I'm not going to lie.
Go
But
for it.
yeah, she didn't like the questions. So she was, she just was, lashing out. She didn't want to answer the hard questions.
No. Angry Little Beaver's apologizing to you because she was on panel for a little bit too. I don't think either of you did anything wrong, okay? Because you're always nice and respectful. Ro just, she was just letting it know. I can say today you have a ton of support. Lisa has none, okay? And she didn't like those questions. She didn't like them.
No,
So,
she didn't.
Did
you guys all notice when Brooks, when you called the what is it called, the TBI, is that correct? She clammed up a little bit. Did you see, like, she didn't know what to say? I don't think she expected that you were going to make that call, and all of a sudden she wasn't sure of anything. She didn't want to talk too much then.
Well, they called me back because, like a dumb fuck. By the way, whoever was trolling me yesterday on my phone, thank you. I just left it on my charger and went outside. You guys are amazing. That was great because I gave them my phone number and I didn't edit it out. I didn't mute or anything during the phone conversation. I don't think about things like that. But they need her phone number. And so I was like, okay, I can do that. And even if the phone numbers change, they can find it. Okay, they're not going to add her on Facebook.
If they want to talk to her, they're going to find her.
Now, let me ask you this. Did you think it was rude of me to call the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation while she was up here?
No, I think she should have come forward with anything. I mean, to me, I don't care if it happened in, Maine or Nebraska, whatever. It involves the family of a missing child, their behavior. And I think anything is worth reporting. It could mean something. The experts could take that and piece it together with other things they have. It might mean something. It shows a pattern, in my opinion.
It damn sure shows a pattern. And there's a big pattern between the RSOs in Arkansas and the RSOs in Tennessee. Now, what I want to know is, she mentioned Jody Sue a little bit. How would she know Jody Sue? It sounds to me like she's been around them.
Well, that's what I was trying to understand. Like, if she still has contact with them, and she tried to say no, but then yet admitted that she had somebody reached out because Candace wanted to talk to her. And, so then she did have contact with them. So why lie? I don't understand that. If you talk to them, you talk to them. What do you got to lie for? That tells me she's hiding something.
Oh, she is. And we've heard, the term honor amongst thieves before. Well, we know that there are, and by the way, I am not putting down homeless people, whether they choose to be this way or they just fell on their luck and they just don't want to take any help. I'm not judging, okay? I'm just not doing that. I'm just saying, they say honor amongst thieves, but there is honor amongst the homeless. Do you remember the case in Nashville? What was that kid's name? It's right on the tip of my tongue. Someone's going to know. We covered it a lot. And he went from Missouri University. He was there with some frat buddies and he went missing. The homeless wouldn't say anything. Wouldn't say if they had seen him. Nothing.
Right.
Nothing. Jody Sue, can you come up? Okay, because she is claiming to know you, and I don't see you hanging with her. Everyone, give Jody Sue a round of applause, because she works really hard for Summer's case. Yep, Riley Strain, that's it. We may not see eye to eye, but that was a mess. But she claims to know her. Come on, Jody.
Wow.
We know you know how to use the internet. Yeah, Jody said, I don't know her, and I've never been around her, period.
Wow. So Lisa's not here today? She didn't want to come on today?
No, I heard she had a sore throat or some shit like that.
That doesn't surprise me.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Screaming.
After screaming at you and shit like that, yeah. I'm going to put the link down for Jody to come up. Because, I mean, I want everyone to hear it out of Jody's mouth. She does not know her. She does not know her.
To me personally, this is my opinion. If Lisa's friendly or friends with Candace and Don, you're going to tell me in all this time they didn't talk about Summer missing, her disappearance, anything. This woman claims that she knows nothing. Nothing has ever been talked about. I find that hard to believe.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, and here's the thing. I've known people since 2005. And if I saw that someone that I noticed something with had like a little, that might have been weird, didn't think about it at the time, and they have a daughter missing, it's very suspicious, I wouldn't keep in contact with them per se. I would have called the phone numbers that have been rammed down our throats for almost 5 years. Okay, everybody, give a round of applause to Jody Sue Brown. Hey, Jody, how's it going?
It's going.
Okay, so you don't know Lisa Judson, and who is this Francis lady?
I don't. The one Francis, I guess that's what, Pam's daughter or something. Pam Wells. But the other one that you're talking about, being around Chad, that is not the same one.
Okay, thank you for clearing that up.
Not even, and she is. The other one is. Related into Beach Creek and to Marlena and everybody else. So, and
now, she's brought up Marlena quite a few times. How would she know her?
Who?
Lisa Judson.
I don't know.
Okay, thank you for that.
I mean, if she's hanging around C&D or whatever throughout the years, then maybe that, or maybe she's making it up. I don't know.
Well,
I've never listened to enough of Lisa J to know kind of her whole skit around here throughout the years. I never paid much attention to her or what she said. I know what her supposed storyline was, because I think that was, whatever, way back. But I came in yesterday and I was like, who is this fake panelist? It sounds like they've just studied the rest of us and added stuff in, and like the fake panelists and call-ins do often, and those in chat and things. And I heard her say, well, Jody Sweven said there was people in sheds, and I'm like, ugh, keep my name in my mouth, But I was like, who is this fake fucker? Because it sounds like all they're doing is adding in everything. Even her dates didn't make sense yesterday. She's trying to say Dawn is in Arkansas and other places when clearly he's incarcerated. He
is right now.
So no, during dates she was given in times and things, it doesn't make sense with Dawn's incarceration dates through the years. She couldn't have been, and they couldn't have been in places that she swears she was.
Okay, well, I mean, I guarantee she was in Arkansas, and she does hang out at these homeless camps. And obviously, Candace is with Dawn, and did stay at their house, Candace and Pam, not Candace, Candace and Pam. By the way, don't think that trade-off didn't happen. Okay, they love their sex parties, but there's too many pedos in the shadow. Don't you agree, Jody?
I think all of them are predators, and I think they work in teams.
So do you think, and remember, we're just thinking, we're speculating that there is some sort of RSO ring and they use the I-40 corridor to go from Tennessee to Arkansas? Because, I mean, the FBI says it's a huge trafficking, T3 trafficking hub.
For me, I just, I think that there's trafficking of all varieties because all trafficking is not what it's, made to be, of just small children in this area, and I think that it happens all across not just our country, but throughout the world. And I think there are many corridors for it, just like there are for drugs and things, which often follow the same. So, I mean, it does happen, it is real, and it is real everywhere.
I agree.
It damn sure
And
is.
I think that a lot of people forget that trafficking also involves, basic house slaves that, women brought from other countries, or, have gotten here around families and hired in, and then they're basically in indentured servitude or prostitution. Or, I mean, they forget how many different varieties of trafficking they are, and they aren't all just, and they're often overlooked, and not talked about.
No, I'm
And
just
people
talking about
think
one
it's
particular area. I'm not talking about the entire world or the entire country. I'm just talking about this case. I'm not saying it doesn't go on other places. Okay, so we have a question from the chat for you. Kat says, I know Jody doesn't know Lisa, but do you recognize anything of what Lisa said about Dawn and Candace picking up homeless people?
Yeah, I mean, they always seem to have transients coming and going, and there were a couple from Arkansas. And
There you go. There you go.
one is the one that showed up on Valentine's one night. Like, me and Monster were trying to celebrate Valentine's Day like most normal couples. And he shows up and he's bleeding all over the place and, everything else. And then, Dawn and Candace are trying to fight him and all this other shit. And so here we are with some random dude that's wanting to stay inside of our house. And it's like, hell no, not with my kids, you ain't. And he's like, why ain't you just gonna, I mean, these people just don't have any couth or manners, or, I mean, like, they're just absolutely oblivious. And he was quite a bit older, and it's like, how do you live that long and not know basic, like, like, you shouldn't be going to somebody else's home, drunker than a skunk, fighting neighbors, wanting to stay overnight, all this crap. And then, I'm like, guy, you ain't staying here. And me and Monster tried to figure out what to do with this fella. Dawn and them calling, trying to fight him. I was like, don't you come the fuck over here and be bothering no more, And then, I think, I can't remember, I had to look back at my receipts, but I believe we ended up dropping him at a bus station or something. He wanted to go that night. I don't know. But I know he damn sure wasn't staying in our house and not around my kids. And I mean, he just, whatever. And then you'd think that would be it, right? He'd never be back. You'd never see him. But then he did come back at one point, and then he ended up with, like, Candace messaged me asking me what to do about something, like that guy was back. And right now I want to say his name was Bob. I've said it before early on. But he had come back, and I guess something had happened over there, and he went down the back side of the hill. And that's what they said. And you know what I mean?
Is all this in Tennessee or this is in Arkansas?
I was never in Arkansas with them
So
or
this
anything.
is
I don't
also
know them
happened-
like that. This
This
was
all
in
happened
Tennessee, and
in
on Ben Hill.
Okay.
And Candace and him seemed to let him lay there, or my speculation is they sort of threatened him and he couldn't go to the hospital, etc., until it got so bad, but he was running a fever, everything else. But I broke his neck falling down the hill,
Oh, geez.
supposedly, but I'd say it was them fighting again and Don hitting him and him being a little elderly. So there was another one there, you know what I mean? And then we weren't aware that Marcos character, whatever, was in there until by other neighbors and until after Summer Bash. We didn't know that guy was registered. Like, we had no idea at the
So
types
he's
of people they.
a registered sex offender. He's a transient that they brought to Ben Hill Road.
Yeah, I mean, this guy was homeless. He had nowhere, but he knew them from some point in the past. And he just showed up, and they tried to say he just showed up out of nowhere. It's like, well, you had to be in contact with him somehow for him to get here now, didn't you?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And the last I knew or heard of him, he was on one of our Facebooks at one point, because it was to, get him to the bus station or whatever, however he needed to get out of town and away from the wells. And so last I heard him, I think he was making his way up to Ohio to his kids or something, and his grandkids. But I mean, that place, like, you wouldn't know somebody was like, I know the world thinks we're all tight and close and besties and just, you know what I mean? No, it wasn't like that, man. But you would hear people of ours see him come and go, and sometimes they'd have people of ours, and you'd hear the voices for me, whatever. And you'd be like, who the hell's up there now, And it would take you a couple weeks, and they'd be like, oh, that's so-and-so, and they've been here for like 3 months, and they're, they have this habit of calling everybody their niece, their nephew, their auntie, their mama, you know what I mean? But none of them are that, but they'll say that they were staying or whatever, or, and there was always this thing with them to where, and now I look at it very, very much in a different way and have for a very long time.
So they were doing all this. This is while Summer was with them. I mean,
yes.
Summer was around all these different people they were bringing around.
Yes. And, but they have this habit, just like Lisa J does say, that's the thing. I know that she's lying her ass off about a bunch of things there that don't compute, don't make sense, even in, whatever.
Right.
And I didn't listen. I clicked in here yesterday, and Brooks, how I feel about you, and how I feel about Nanny and the whole thing. I think there's something up with all the bullshit, but anyway. The thing is, at least
agree to disagree and be friends right after. What happened the last time you were between you and Trevor, not me. So get off my ass. Okay, so I want to know. So this
Lisa does have like this thing where I think there's a little truth in there, because it's like they always pick a grandma. With grandkids, they always pick, they'll tell you that they're just helping a couple that are experiencing domestic violence and trying to separate them. And then somehow Dawn ends up, I don't know, conveniently getting rid of the dude off the hill, or from around the woman somehow. She ends up intoxicated and something happens to her. And then it's probably hard for that type to report it. And, it seems to be there's a pattern of that, and they'll always tell you that they're helping. They were helping the grandma. They're the good people. They were helping a domestic violence couple. They were helping a woman get away. And it always, and all of them will always have kids or grandkids. And that is a pattern that once you see it, and especially after Summer vanished, I started going back, and I'm like, holy shit, it was every time. And, it's the same way they got Allie. It's the same way they got Crystal Spence and all these other things. And it's like something is very wrong there. Definitely. And when you know a whole lot more details into those situations, that they weren't just, they're not what they look like on the surface, and that there's far more below. Yeah, so I
Yeah,
think there's quite a few that have.
I know in another case when people use people that are down on their luck or also known as homeless, I'm thinking of the Michael Vaughn case right now, they can basically get anything out of them. So now my brain is going 2,000 miles an hour down another track. Because like you said, Jody, there is definitely a pattern here. I mean, it's not your business who they have at their house. It's not my business who visits my neighbors.
Nope.
Right.
But I
But
go back,
also, most neighbors, you're not going to go over and be like, "Hey, is this person whatever that's visiting you, or this and that and the other?" And and in places like beach, you damn sure not. It ain't none of your damn business. You don't need to be in it,
Mhm.
and to keep an extra eye out on that. But like, you think, well, they've got a hell of a ton of people coming in and out, so. And it's like Dawn and Candace have always wanted to make it like everybody else is a big bad guy. That's not true. Most of the traffic was at their fucking place or at Fred's. End of story. You
yeah,
know?
yeah, Fred's.
And it was
And you're not the first person to say that. Now, my question is, I go back to WJHL, and I go back to when Don talked to Jeff Bobo, June 18th, 2021. And he said, we only talk to church people. I'm thinking he's just talking about the people that they go to church with. Oh, I go back to what Lisa said yesterday. They go from church to church to church. This is a
they
long.
did that. All of us knew it well before Summer Vanish told community. I mean, would chatter about how Dawn and Candace were cons and they only come to the churches to milk them for shit or to get Christmas stuff for kids, and then inevitably you find it online for sale. And I know not long before Summer vanished, as one of the other DCS cases was running, that the church and stuff had given them beds and things for the kids. I know Andy and I had tried to give them a bed too from one of the other houses and properties we had, and they seemed to give them away along with blankets and things. So we knew at that point there was they were on their ass about certain things, and I think that would have probably been from the SDA church up there that had given them those things. But yeah, we all knew for years that's all they did. But everybody in the community agreed it was best to just kind of let them do that, so everybody could just make sure at least the kids were okay and fed and coming to the program. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Yeah, that's a church program, but it was kind of odd to me that
Well,
Dawn.
no, I'm saying that like for the kids to come and things, and everybody in the community to be able to keep eyes on them, make sure they were just fed and okay, and you get what I'm saying. And everybody knew that Dawn and Candace were only coming to the churches to use the churches or to, get this or to get that or, to see if they could con somebody or you get what I'm saying. But they let Dawn and Candace do that. It was well known that they would just hop from church to church doing that. But everybody agreed in the community. It was like, well, everybody wanted to make sure the kids were safe, and that was a good way to keep an eye on the kids.
Well,
So
they agreed. I don't agree. So they hopped from church to church in Tennessee. I'm just going to assume we know because they have said that. Okay. We also know that Robin said she was skittish of them because she thought they were just there to get free things. She must have smelled the vagrant on them. Now we hear about all the different churches that Dawn and Pam and then later Candace were involved in Arkansas.
Also, Dawn has a problem with on his 3-day takeoffs that he would do throughout the years. As soon as he would get back from them, be about the time you'd hear him mention his kids, his older ones, right? Margie and little Dawn. He never, I mean, that'd be the only time you'd ever hear him talk about them in any way. He'd be like, oh, my older kids lost them, but we're trying to make up. And then he'd be like, I'm real sorry about, taking up on Candace or hitting, if he didn't. It was just every time he came back from like a 3-day bender or whatever, on crack, coke, and horse, he would then be like, I'm going to church,
Mm.
And so they take
Yesterday, he hides behind religion all the time. Now, I did find it
Well,
odd.
yeah, we were all like, as soon as Summer vanished and he became super religious online and everywhere else, like the next day. I mean, he still, even to us in person, throughout all his years, was never talking about God or religion. Neither of them did. Candace is like anti, you know. I never heard that girl say jack shit about Jesus until after, you know, Dawn really pushed in, and I ain't buying it. I know what it is. It's a cloak. And Dawn, even in real time, you all were seeing them out here public going Jesus and the resurrect, whatever. All of us are like, well, and it's like all of us in real time knew once we all figured out who Robin and Dodson and all them were, and that's who the weirdo freaks were that were called, I guess, by them the first night. Once we put it together, there were some churches like, really? They called in church people the first night talking about trying to, you know, with everybody, including probably law enforcement that first night, trying to cloak yourself in Jesus, you know? And all of us knew it. And we've seen it progress and to where it's become, you know, now. I think it's fucking ridiculous. It's just another way to look like, oh, Jesus, we only hang out with good people. And,
Did
bro,
you
the hell with it. Like, they've made all the good people look like the devils and terrible human beings and traffickers and pedos and all this stuff in that community and otherwise, and left their own selves and their own damn sins out of everything. And it ain't right what they've done to hide their own asses, cleanse them. And that, I'm not saying they're guilty of anything to do with Summer on the 15th, but in my opinion, they don't deserve to be breathing free air. Otherwise, I think they're very much predators. And, you know, I just, to watch them use YouTube and otherwise to destroy the entire damn community and try to make themselves look like angels. And I very much, you know, like Peter Height says, I think Dawn is very much a danger.
but you don't think they
the
had
joke-
anything to do with Summer's disappearance?
I don't know who did. And I'm not like the others, and I'm not going to
You're not just going to speculate. You just,
finger.
yeah. Did you talk
Right.
to law
I know
enforcement?
who I've
Did they
heard.
interview you when this all happened or no?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
From the first minutes until that, well, I mean, even recently, we've, you know, talked to law enforcement, and we stay in touch if need be, or if anything needs to be turned in. Yes, we cooperate fully, always have,
Good.
with everything.
What kind of
Searches,
kid was Summer?
dogs.
Did you ever talk to her one-on-one? Like, what was she like?
Who, Summer?
Yeah.
Summer, man, and I wish some of you, I think a whole lot of people she'd definitely run from. She'd pick people up as awful people and be gone. But like, she just very curious. She very much watched others, and I know it because of the church videos. You all think that she was just everywhere and running amok and whatever, but if you know the other people she went to churches with, that's actually not typical in the other places she would be. She was very much high energy. You know, she was very curious
Yeah.
and very sensitive, but also a force to be reckoned with. And you couldn't, like, I remember, oh, bless.
No, no, don't cry. Don't cry. No, don't cry, because we're all gonna cry.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to, you
Oh,
know.
no, it's not you. It's not you. It's just emotions take over.
I'm
She-
just curious
had
what
this
could, I'm
video.
just looking at the
thing,
pictures
I
you have
know.
up of her, and it's just heartbreaking, not knowing, you know.
It's, I just wish y'all could see her one time look at you the way that she would most people. She had this curious way about her. She'd stay really sort of quiet or something, but she'd tilt her little head, and she had this way of holding her little finger in front of her lips, and she just kind of tilt and look at you. And I know people think, and they want to say that she's slow or off or whatever, but she's not, man. She is. She could see and feel people, and that's what kills me. I know she could. I know she could, and it's because, unfortunately, she was around people like her parents had around, and I guarantee it. And so, I mean, you could just see it, and that she would watch people, and she was curious, and it eats at me every day. It's like, how did someone get close enough to do anything to her, or for her not to run? Or, but I wish you all could see her. She just even like, and I wish you could see her when you couldn't keep her in a car seat either. I remember so many times sitting down at the end of the road, and Candace and I, while we'd be coming or going, she'd be waiting on the boys of us, and we'd talk, or all the neighbors, we'd be there, and everybody be waiting on everybody, whatever, and Candace would park, and summer, it didn't matter. She'd be out of that car seat in 2 seconds. You couldn't keep that kid. And she would make the van there. I mean, she'd just dance around in it. And she
I'm going to answer a couple of questions from the chat, and then I have a question for you. No hot topic. It's just basically your opinion. Virgo Vibes said, didn't Lisa hang out on PG's panel and actually went or met Candace and Dawn in Arkansas, going to a church there for food? Yeah, she did. She was at their hotel. Now we have another question. Yeah, Lisa, she went to Springdale, and she was with them when they picked up that homeless family at another church. It's a pattern. I'm telling you, it hit me
is a pattern
yesterday.
And I may not agree with all you do, but I do agree, and that it's a pattern. And I know that a lot of people, like, they flock together types, right? And it does seem, weirdly enough, like PDFs or whatever, because I'll use that on your platform, because I know y'all feel some types of ways about the words, but the PDF files, they do seem to have some weird way of finding one another, like little beacons or something. And I have never in all my days, and I mean, if you find like one PDF file, usually you'll find that their daddy or somebody else in the line is. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They don't just come out of nowhere generally. But in their case, like, both of those families are filled with them. And then the step families and the other I mean, I've never seen such a god-awful amount of PDF files around two people in my life as those two.
Wow.
But they definitely, I mean, so, yeah, you'll find the poor, the druggies, whatever, hanging out together, all that type of stuff, right? That happens too. But those two definitely have a habit of acquiring grandmamas with grandbabies. And I've watched some of the weirdest things and have receipts on some of the weirdest things that I've not said publicly, for all the years I've been looking at. And it's like dates and times. And, eventually you'll see a cop call or tit for tat, like Allie and them, right? You'll see something like that. And then Dawn and Candace will be like, oh, it was them that did whatever. It's like, with Dawn and Candace and Marlena and one of the others you all have mixed up, trying to say that they ran up the same exact trail they are trying to say Summer went down. They'll say that they stole stuff in the middle of the day off the top of the hill and used that same trail to steal stuff. And they'll always try to get the cops they'll try to get to the cops before the other people can, right?
Mm-hmm.
And set them up. I've actually been, quote, the victim of Donna, or, well, at least Candace, in the way of setup shit a couple of times. And I will tell you, they have no problem either with, like, there was one particular event that they set off. It was their fault. And then there happened to be somebody else staying with them at the time. And I don't think Candace still realizes I know that it was her text, and I never said a word, but I knew in real time it was. But their first go-to was to try to blackmail me for money. And I could hear, they tried to tell me they had went to a vet's office or whatever, and it had only been like 10 minutes since, everything had happened. And I knew they hadn't left Hill. I could hear that they had not. I could hear they were still up there. And it wasn't enough time to have gotten to wherever. And their first thing while all that was going on was to try to pretend that they were someone else. And they were forcing that person to do certain things to fuck with me. And they were trying to get money out of me.
Mm.
And Candace then later on was like, oh, we got rid of so-and-so because they were doing that to you, neighbor. And it's like, yeah, bitch, I don't know. And they didn't realize that I knew these people, like most of my, they never did figure it out. So, but I do know. And I know that they're fully capable of that. I've watched them through the year, like, every time they do somebody wrong, like they did Marlena and her bunch wrong, and job sites is there, and were robbing them and not paying them, and Dawn was giving them dope and stuff, whatever, right? And not doing everything. And then, and then they would, when those people got mad or whatever, then they'd stir shit, and they'd always accuse them of something first, like stealing tools or doing this or doing that, and always the dog trail, and always at the hill at a certain time in 5 minutes while one of them was conveniently gone. And it just, it's the same pattern. And there are many patterns with those two. And I do believe I believe a lot of things.
Okay. Sal has a question for you. Actually, I'm going to turn this into a question. How did you feel when Dawn and Candace blamed you for Summer's disappearance?
Oh, they can go fuck themselves.
Okay. All right.
And it enrages me. Even now, it's like knowing that they have absolutely directed these YouTubers and others to target not just myself, but others. And I find it weird that they often go after those they know are witnesses or those they want rid of. Who does that?
Well,
and if their whole thing is Summer was taken.
You're talking to a crime victim's grandmother up here. She knows how that goes. This is Corey Mikulo's grandmother.
I mean, does that not seem odd to you? And I know for fact that my children and I had nothing to do with Summer vanishing. Nothing. Okay?
Oh, I know.
And I know that Dawn and Candace know this. I know that, I know that I hold enough proof myself to show this, which means the FBI, TV. I mean, but I wish you all could hear what we're told by feds, but you can't. And there's a lot of things we don't say publicly.
No.
But
do not talk about what the police have told you. Okay, listen to this, and I just want your reaction. You're going to get different stories from Candace.
Oh yeah, she's changed it to 4:30. She didn't see.
I don't know about Jody Stu. I've talked to Jody Stu time and time again, and every time she talks to me, her story has changed.
I never told her my story, Brooks. That's the thing.
Like for instance, like she said that she was down on the bottom after she heard somebody scream or whatever. She was never at the bottom of that driveway. I drove down there faster than she could fucking fly.
Okay. So she said. So the scream, of course, is out of the question now, right? There was no scream, right?
There's no scream, dude. She's maced all that shit up. Why? I can't lie. It's not in my metabolism.
Okay.
You heard a scream too.
Okay, so that's her first story. Okay.
Well, no, it's not technically. You remember she was recorded within 24 hours talking about how the neighbor heard a scream, but her and the boys were in the basement. The TV's on looking for Summer already. You know where Candace fucked up with that? Candace didn't have a time for the scream. Candace didn't know shit about it for months. Like, she didn't have a time. Dawn didn't have a time. And I have never to this day told Candace or went through what all I seen, heard, etc. ever with Candace and Dawn. So they don't know. They've just done whatever they wanted to do with crap. And they tried very hard at first, it looks like, once I was aware of this place and what they were doing, to use that scream to benefit when it, suited them. Or like Dawn tried to do to distract off of Chris McDonough and the sisters one night on shares. He went on there and was like, oh, the neighbor over here doxed her. And in person on Ben Hill, he apologized to me. He's like, oh, I accidentally doxed you last night. And I didn't know what it meant. He made it less than what it was, right? But he was trying to use distraction. Candace tried to use the screen burst. Dawn's tried to use it. I mean, but then when it didn't suit them, then they went around attacking us or having the group say we were lying about it. And look, Brooks, we don't know whether it counts or doesn't. We don't know whether they found some way to go, okay, well, this is actually related to that, or it's actually this person or some other Yahoo in the community was screaming date. You know what I mean?
That's really not the
So,
point. One day they use a scream, the next day they say it's fake. So listen to the rest of it.
yeah.
Now, if she was standing down there, was that after Summer had came up missing?
I don't know when she got down there. I just know when I drove down to my mom's truck, she was down there.
Okay.
Was she already looking, or was she doing something different?
She was just standing on the corner.
Very, very interesting.
Right.
Was it surprising, you coming down the drive knowing your daughter?
Yeah, because usually Jody Sue don't walk around.
Okay, that's typical can't. Mirror Cam, thank you for the Crime Lines and Lies memberships. Thank you for that.
I believe that was the one where Candace fucked up, though, because we got the hoax call, the bullshit that this group was doing that day, and it has to do with her and PG and everything else. It doesn't matter at this point. But Candace pulled her timeline back to 4:30 for looking for some, remember?
Yeah, but we know for a fact now that she was at Fred's at 4:30.
Yeah, I don't look. All I can tell you is that I did not see Candace period until 6:09 plus, and it wasn't weird. There was a lot of days I was out there around 5:30, and there's parts of that bother me too. But there were a lot of days I was out there 5:30, 6 o'clock waiting on Andy, or getting ready to go to town, or I knew he'd be coming from work, so I'd go down to, mess about with my actual real flowers. I've shown real footage and pictures of, and searchers and feds know are real, and so does everybody else who knows us. And then Andy would give me a ride back up the driveway so I didn't have to walk. And you got to think I was eyeball deep in a drug of cancer treatment at the time. I was not feeling it good, but I wanted out of the house, so it was not uncommon for me to be at the bottom of the driveway.
Jody.
And
Jody, hello. Are you there?
I'm here.
Do I need to give you a spanking? Someone said, hey, weren't you just giving Brooks a tongue lashing yesterday, Jody? Oh,
Yeah.
girl, what'd I do wrong? You tell me, because you live across the street from him. I wouldn't know.
Oh, they just trying to, look, we done addressed this a minute ago. You know how I feel about all y'all and all the group, and,
We just follow what the news articles say and what they say. So when someone knows, they come in and tell us. I don't live there. I just don't. Ooh.
But when Candace come down that driveway that day, she wasn't flying as fast as she could go. I really thought a whole other person was in that vehicle with her. And it turns out eventually, it's actually Dawn on the speakerphone. When he decides to pipe up and I guess start weaving and pebble dropping. But I'd already been calling up towards the hill, lifting it up and hollering at him to let him know I was down below, looking, because obviously I could hear him calling Summer's name. And I, just kind of casually wandering about, but I was going to go into what we refer to as the creek area, because it's going into the creek. So I started to step in there, whatever. I heard her coming down the driveway. I stepped back out. I walked a few feet up the roadway to meet her vehicle, sort of. Everything outside, I couldn't figure out why in the hell there wasn't another person in the vehicle when she pulled up to me. And until Dawn piped up on the speakerphone.
Speakerphone. What do you mean
You
speaker?
know,
Like she was
like
on
she had it on.
she
Yeah,
was
all the way down the driveway. She was on the phone with Dawn, screaming. They were yelling at one another, like in this, and it was different tones and everything else. And I could hear what they were saying verbatim, like, you know, like clear as a bell. That's how loud they were. But Candace went flying down that driveway. And then for some reason she got quiet, and so did he. It was like she told him to shut up or something, which would be odd, right? You'd think. I think so. And, you know, it's like she pulls up to me. Dawn stays, I guess, quiet as a mouse on the speakerphone and cell phone. And till he hears me say, you know, I heard a scream earlier. I'm sorry, I didn't know, but I've been looking, I tried to yell at you, whatever, right? When, you know, I got down the driveway a minute or two earlier. And I tried to yell and holler up at Candace and the boys to let them know I was down below looking. And I know that some of them did absolutely hear me, but did not respond. But I could tell they heard me because of their footsteps stopping. You know, and I know they would have been able to hear me. So I don't understand some of that. But
Let me ask you about times. When did you start hearing them yell for Summer? And when did you hear the scream?
the last message I sent Andy was at the top of the driveway as I was heading down. That was at 6:09. And but I had heard Candace and them for a minute or two before that, you know, lightly calling for Summer. Nothing urgent, nothing crazy. But as I went down the driveway of ours, you know, those calls for Summer picked up from them, more frequent, you know, less space in between, more, you know, more worry behind calling, you get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And especially on the boys' part, you know? And I was like, oh, something ain't right. Summer always answers. You know what I mean? Most kids do. If you holler their name 3 times, they know 3 means something. You know what I mean? But Summer, I'd only ever known of her once not answer Candace, and it was according to Monster, because he'd went over something. But Summer was hiding behind the truck over there on the right side because she was pissed off at Candace.
Mm-hmm.
And his assumption was that they had, you know, been mean to her or something, but she was hiding over on the right side of the truck over there. And wouldn't answer Candace.
Now, I mean, there's a
And
lot
that
of
was,
now the show is not about you, and I didn't mean to make it about you, but now that we're talking, I'm like totally intrigued. You did paint them out to be really good parents in the beginning, but I have always suspected that you were the person that gave the
I was
anonymous interview to Josh from the lab, because when that came out, we didn't see the McDonough interview for like a month, and I was like, that's got to be a neighbor. That's obviously someone that was there. Don't tell me if you did or not. Were you scared?
What was that with McDonough?
I said somebody spoke to Josh from the lab, and this was very, very, very early on, way before Chris McDonough. Okay.
No.
And I mean,
I did not speak to YouTube, social media, any of that in any way until almost the end of 21. I think my first videos were on Facebook at the end of September.
Okay, all done.
Like,
all done. I'm just wondering who it was that gave such a description of the house that was spot on. And everybody in here, put a 1 in chat if you want this case solved, Summer found, whichever way you want to say it. I want Summer found, and I want it solved. I want this ring of pedophiles put away. And if anyone says I don't, well, you got to sleep sometime. I listened to a woman lie to the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation yesterday. I think it's disgusting. And there is a pattern of transients that come around them all the time. Now, I can tell you for a fact, Jody is not a suspect.
I guess thank you, Hawkins, and thank you, Pruitt. Appreciate that. So I'm going to play this for you as it originally is, and I'll share it on my community wall here in just a second.
You got specific questions that are pertinent to this case?
Yes, suspect Brown is threatening people on the internet. I find that odd.
Suspect 2, threats are as far as you believe it.
Pruitt says right there, she's not a suspect. Okay, she's not a suspect.
Brooks, I have a question for you. Just your opinion.
Go ahead, baby.
Do you think Summer is somewhere, or do you think she's no longer?
You know what? That's a tilted table for me. Because they're still investigating over at Van Hill Road, but knowing about all these transients, and I spent a lot of time yesterday listening to Don's interviews talking about, oh, these meth heads just come up here and people steal my tools and all that stuff. And then it's confirmed. I mean, it's solid as rock that they would go to church and they would bring transients around. I haven't put the audio out, but I mean, I spoke to a guy that Candace picked up behind the Exxon. He was digging through the dumpster. She took him fishing and they did all kinds of stuff together. Okay. So when I hear about the different people that were allowed to come to their house, that kind of skews it a little bit for me. I don't know. What do you think, Rebecca?
Well, I think, when you invite strangers, you don't know their background, and it seemed like a free-for-all over there on that hill. Everybody was welcome, and you have children. This shouldn't be a surprise that something like this happens. One of those people very well could have taken Summer, and maybe things didn't go as planned, and maybe they had to do away with her. And I hate to say that, but it could have happened that way.
Well, I'm telling you right now, I mean, this whole new thing that's been made crystal clear to me, I'm not saying it's the answer at all, but I think about what the DA said. It's a hard case to solve due to the cast of characters in this drama.
Right.
Like, figure it out. They can't find these homeless people. Okay. I mean, Jody, I'm sure you're not friends with them on Facebook. All those fucking weirdos over there. All those transients, those immigrants that went to Ben Hill Road. Now I understand.
Just the problem. It's those just like in ways or those they were taking advantage of. I firmly believe and know. I mean, it ain't just that, I think there are some things I know, and it's like, knowing that Don lied about the tools being stolen by Marlene and him, and he gets caught dead out in that in public because he's like, and then like with the tools that were supposedly left behind when Kathy bought the truck and all that, or the Suburban, whatever. I mean, those are the same tools he proclaimed to have been stolen by Marlena and crew, but they were setting up. Candace was laughing because apparently Marlena and them owed her and Candace Senior money. And it's like, well, how in the hell do they owe you money? Where did you get money? What? Plus they owe Don from the job and all this.
Why are these people always owing each other fucking money and they got tools missing? And then they meet at the fucking pawn shop and they're splitting tackle box money and tool money. Explain that to me, Jody.
I mean, Dawn, and this is the thing, Dawn always had money. These people were not poor like you think they were, or like they've put on. Dawn would go to his vendors and then come back with more money than he left with.
Okay. Well, I'm not talking about East Tennessee. I am not talking about Tennessee. I'm not saying there's a bunch of transients and vagrants only there. I'm not talking about Jody. Certainly wouldn't talk about Ange or Duck Lady that way, or Lisa A. because they'd get right on I-40 and it'd be worse than trafficking. They'd beat my ass with a crowbar. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about their circle of people. Why are so many things going stolen? Why are things getting salvaged? Cars that nobody has a title to that Fred would take? And I have to give Jaded the comment of the day. Ronnie Lawson says, we don't have a drug problem there. Then here comes Fred Hill holding beer. Hold my beer. You don't think you do? It's right under your nose, buddy. All right, so I apologize for the misunderstanding. Go ahead, Jody.
And like with all the stolen stuff, it's like you'll hear Dawn say that about Fred being on a golf cart and stealing stuff. Well, Fred's always been a thief. Okay, that ain't ever going to change. But I do believe that Dawn was helping Fred in ways, or, you know, getting stolen things, and especially certain things cross the road near Loop at one point. But he tries to make it like Fred's the only, big, like they do everything. They always try to make it look like it's just Fred, or it's just this, or it's just that person, or they're the good people. Bullshit,
What do you think about Fred and Ziggy that keep trying to pin this on your ex, Andy? She yells. She yells all the time, but Andy was on the road, and I've yelled for years. He lives on the road. My neighbor Linda was on the road today. I don't know what the hell she's doing, but I'm never going to put together that if a child goes missing here, I'm not going to yell, Linda was on the road.
Right. That's the thing. Do you hear Fred and Ziggy saying the other people that were out that day are coming and going during those times that even Fred hasn't named? So apparently he wasn't in all the right places at all the right times to know people were coming and going during those. Apparently everybody didn't meet Fred everywhere in his magical Hoovian blue telephone booth. But anyway, I find it strange they only try with Andy. I think that's part of the script and all the bullshit, but I know that Andy's a monster and
by the way, I mentioned Ziggy's name and she has a copyright going on, so we're gonna have to raise your old friend's Cash App today. Not Cash App, don't Cash App me either. By the way, it's April Fool's. It's $45 every time you mention the Zig's name. Okay, sorry, Jody. I have to give the copyright because Ziggy wants $45. Oop, it's another $45.
Look, I'm telling you, I don't care who she's trying to, like I said the other day on my live, her and everybody else doing this, they're going to sue each other. And Ziggy lacking a mirror, she's talking about stalking, harassing, lies, slander. Boy, she built her channel on my name. I watched her monetize on my name. The pictures of my domestic violence and cancer all in the same breath. So, because she still didn't have enough to monetize after her fake DCS stuff, I can prove all the stuff against Ziggy, but I am going to send it into whatever court she wants to take somebody to prove what Ziggy's been doing to other people out here, including us. And we'll see if she don't get laughed out and all her stuff dismissed. So y'all might as well just keep whatever it is in your pockets, because I'm going to make sure, or at least attempt to make sure, that everything gets in front of district attorneys, prosecutors and judges to show what Ziggy is. I don't care if it's against Six or whoever else, Ryan, I don't care. I will send it in. Those are the rules from now on, because they're all like they're doing the thing to people out here in the world, and for her to be like, Six is doing that, nope.
Joe, do you have a YouTube channel? Jody, you have a YouTube channel?
You have a YouTube channel too, yeah. I mean, it goes both ways. I mean, you can strike someone, they can strike you. The same shit happens to me every day. I don't really feel the right to sue, but I do want to sue you for some attention because Tracy Ludwig is having a birthday today. Can everyone please tell Tracy happy birthday?
Oh, happy birthday.
question. I can remember who it's from, Jody. Somebody wants to know about your son being in the kiddie pool with Summer. I don't know what that has to do with
That's something that Fred made up after seeing that picture online of Hunter in the pool. Even Dawn and Candace have told the world that that is not my son.
Well,
and it's not.
As soon as my granddaughter can sit up, guess what? My fat ass will be out in the kiddie pool. Is someone going to say something about that?
Fred is the one that said that. It's on Ziggy's first quote, interview with him walking down the road. He's like, "Oh, wish I still be." That was Jody, and so it's Fred that did that. And it's pretty foul, but that's also the way in which it's nonsense.
Yeah.
But I do know, and I can tell you for a fact, my kids were never over there on 110 playing. They were not allowed over there by themselves. So like, no. And even Dawn and Candace have told you all that. The boys would, and Summer would come back and forth to hours, whatever, but Summer not on her own. The boys would run back and forth, or I would babysit, and things like that, or pick them up from the bus, or while Summer was in the hospital, or this and the other for years.
Hold on. Summer in the hospital.
Yeah, she had like an RSV type of thing there at one point, and Candace for a day or so was like, "Hey, she sent me a picture of Summer, or we were on vid chat something, and she was like, do you think Summer's okay?" I was like, "Look, that seems like it's, a little bad." And she was young enough for, I was like, it could be RSV, something like that, so keep an eye on it. If her temperature raises up through the night, definitely take her in. And she did. I guess Dawn gave her permission by the next day, so she took her in, and then they transported her to Children's Hospital up here in Johnson City or wherever. And she was there for a couple days, and while she was there, I made sure to babysit the boys. While Dawn was in and out at work, whatever, made sure they had dinner, all those things, until Summer got released.
How old was she? And by the way, RSV is not child abuse. It happens quite a bit. I'm very curious about this.
Y'all seen the picture. It's the one everybody tried to say Summer's dirty in, but it's actually a picture of Summer, and she has snot all over her face, but it's holding dirt. And her and Candace are both facing the camera, but she was starting to get sick with it then, and within 24 hours it went, and she was coughing and stuff. So,
well, I just can't remember exactly how old was she?
She was maybe 2.5, maybe.
Okay. Now, what about the story when Candace went to Allie's because Summer had swallowed a pill or something around their house and she was overdosed?
That, I didn't know anything about that. I heard that from True, just like you all did online. True said that she had gotten a hold of math, somehow, and she was ODing. Candace took them to them, whatever. That's the story, right? And then, so I don't know anything about that any more than you all do.
How often did you see Summer? I mean, just say like on a week.
It would depend through the years. And like I've always said, I was not as close and didn't know Summer as well as the boys, right? Mm-hmm. And they did, after a certain age with Summer, they seemed to not have her as many places, or like around. It was, I don't know, there's a lot of things I know now I didn't know then, and a lot of things I'm not willing to say, but as far as Summer goes, it would depend. Usually a couple times a week at least in passing or talking to one another, but then sometimes, like with my cancer and all that stuff, then I wasn't really allowed to be around children or women, and I made sure for a long period, made sure all the phases were at, like, you the breakdown, the radiation was gone. So there for 6-8 months, I wasn't around Summer a whole lot, or anything, just as I wasn't my own children, and other people. So anyway, but I mean, I heard them every day in some capacity, and I know the public has their own thoughts about it, but you really could hear everything over there, and the interactions and Summer and the boys when they were hungry, whatever was going on,
Did
whether
you
they're fighting or picking at one another and
well,
all that.
did you see her the afternoon of June 15th, 2021? And
No, I didn't see Summer 15th.
Okay. Now,
And I have
Don says that
I
he
get
saw,
them.
Don said he saw a neighbor in the creek looking around, and he said he knew right then she was gone. Who was the neighbor around their creek looking?
Well, that was I and another neighbor, and we were together. And Don changes that back and forth very early on. He would say neighbors. He's seen his neighbors looking, and then he wants to sort of delete me out of that. And then he'll be like, I've seen our neighbor XYZ, over there looking, and it was on the bank and there where he pulled in down there where the boys were. And, so but I was in the creek area, and the other neighbor was on the bank of the hill, and we were walking it together and keeping in visual and vocal contact to see if either of us had seen Summer by the point that the rest of the neighbors start filtering in and trying to help us. So, but I did see Don come in, and when he first, entered right there, Ben Hill and then down the strip and straight away and all that. But anyway, yeah. I mean, but I didn't see Summer at all on June 15th.
Okay.
And I didn't see Candace or Dawn or anything else till after 6:09. So.
I have a question real quick. Do you know a guy that hung around the property named Terry Cross? Terry, and then Cross, Cross.
It's not ringing a bell currently, no. But they had all kinds of people up there. You'd never know who and what. When there were so many people we found out had been up there with records and stuff, Brooks, after Summer had vanished. And we started finding out within days, and then we found out just like the rest of y'all about his sisters and all these things. We were all horrified as a community to know who had been up there. And they knew. They knew they were bringing predators and people off of registries and all these things in there the whole time. They had no concern for the community, any of our children, the threats they're bringing in, even to their own. And then they want to make it like that whole community or the bad guys or that everybody else is fishy or dope this or whatever that. No, man, it makes me mad.
Well, I can imagine. I couldn't imagine living across the road or across the street from somebody, and then I just say, this is what I know about them, and then next thing I know, I mean, my shit's getting, scrambled up. I don't trust Robin. I hate to say it.
Well, they were already behind the scenes in the first hours and days. Dawn tried to say behind the scenes, and it was recording. I think between him and PG or so, I don't know. It was one of the recordings that came out. Him saying that he thought Andy had taken Summer, and then it was that they didn't know about all this crap about us, and they were feeding out our personal business, the court stuff, everything else behind the scenes. Dawn talking about how Andy was laughing with him, saying he got away with it, made me look XYZ in court, and all his buddies in court, and Hawkins, and everything's dirty, and he felt bad for me because I was done dirty, and all that. But then the next minute he's saying it. It's just whatever they want to do. They were already feeding us out to the wolves. We had no clue what this realm was or what was going on. And it looked like they were just and giving YouTube, social media, anyone else to latch onto so the world could be made to look at everyone else as sus but them. And I'm not saying they are the people that did anything to Summer on June 15th, but that's foul. And if you really want your daughter found, you don't do that.
Well,
You know?
to be quite honest, not to be a hypocrite, I mean, you hear me right now. I mean, I'm going off about Lisa Judson. And I mean, I want Summer to be found. I really, really do. That girl breaks my heart. And so,
Same,
yeah,
Brooke.
I mean, I will talk about anyone that's on that hill that has spoken out. And that is for sure. I mean, if their personal life comes
You know they're lying.
but you're never
That's
going
the thing.
but you're never going to hear me say, oh, I'm going to leave this person alone because they're a fucking drug dealer, or they buy pills from a street corner pharmacist and hand them out
Well,
like,
you know that throughout all these years, that's the thing, though. They will name everybody and everything or nothing.
or a mother that goes down to Fred's house around 4:30 and sees him and Chad Arnold and Laura the same day. They happen to be salvaging a truck that Don said that he gave to Fred because he felt bad for him, and it's worth $30,000. And it just basically needed like one simple part. Yeah, I'm not going to feel bad for those people. I'm just not going to. And please don't ask me to. Just not going to. You know, take your drugs all you want. Have all the guns you want. Drink all the booze you want. Keep the kids out of it.
And the thing about it is, though, in all these years, they've always just seemingly screwed with minuscule, nothing, nobody people, and I've never heard them once name or have YouTube after the real people they were really messing about with that are real big boys in the dope world. So, pardon me if I think it's weird.
No, let's talk about one. Bill Shipley. What do you think about him?
I am not talking about Bill.
Okay.
Bill and everything else that's going on is between Bill and everything else that's going on and with them. That ain't my bone to pick. And
okay, and you live there. I mean, I dig it. Okay, so I mean, is this about drugs, pedophilia, trafficking, or what? Because I don't believe for a second an accident happened or there was some sort of dry drowning. Because we know that Candace doesn't have a problem going to the hospital. Okay, we know that. Because you said that Summer was in the hospital with RSV and you took care of the children. Okay? Something else happened. And OJ, you're not getting snacks right now. Tell you what, you're really testing my nerves. Okay, come here and get one snack. You are so cute. You play kind of mama right now. I apologize. Hang on, I got it.
Well, they definitely deviated from norms and behaviors on June 15th as opposed to the rest of the years they were there. Mm-hmm. Any other time the kids would go missing or whatever else, they would always get, neighbors first. There's messages where Candace messaged me going, hey, have you seen the kids? I don't know how long they've, whatever. And we'd all look and we'd find whatever. But that day, everything was different. And it's like for her saying, oh, it's weird that Jody should be looking for. No, it ain't. How many years have they contacted the rest of us going, hey, have you seen them? I mean, it's a normal neighbor behavior. You're like, you hear somebody looking for their child and, you can be a pip. You're like, hey, and you start, and I started calling Summer's name down there at the bottom and then intermittently being like, hey, Candace and Josie and Waylon, do y'all hear me? I'm down here. I've got the bottom, etc. But I never got a response, so I just kept looking for Summer. But the thing is they deviated from norms, patterns, and behaviors. And, Candace wasn't out looking. She wasn't on the ground. She didn't get out of that damn truck and go into the field. She didn't, go into the creeks or anywhere else looking. She just ran around telling everybody different stories the first few minutes, and it was everybody else looking. And it's like Candace Senior's story of
absolutely zero story if your child is missing. It's impossible to have a story if your child is missing. Your only story is, I can't find my child. Last time I saw my child was playing with toys. or mad in the toy aisle because he didn't get a Power Ranger. That happened to me. That's the only story. That's all I know. So why did her stories change so much? I mean, why did her story change so much? All right, let's talk to, Helen. I'm going to talk to you first. Thank you so much for the super sticker, girlfriend. And let's get to a little bit of last night, because this show actually kind of went a different way, and that's okay. And I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. But Prayer Garden had a lot to say about Lisa Judson, who was not in a good mood yesterday, and is very good friends with Dawn and Candace and Dawn's ex. All right. Now, for commentary value and to keep YouTube happy, I will have to break this up for you. And of course, you know where to find it. And say some things here and there. Because this woman knows way more. Way more. She was all fucking hot talk yesterday. But when the TBI got on the phone, everything changed. And that was the last nail in the coffin for me.
Because it wasn't fucking easy to listen to their, their BS. But I listened anyway. And some people, some people you regret listening to. Some you do, some you don't. There's only one out of that bunch that, that I didn't really regret listening to, because, if you could keep people in this world, then it was worth, the time it took to keep them here. I'm definitely for.
Okay, so this is the calm before the storm, because she unleashes about how pissed she was about my 2 shows yesterday. I treasure every moment of this. It's kind of like when Donald Trump put something on Truth Social, like he's going to bomb the fuck out of someone or do something, and he'll go, "Thank you for your attention's matter." I mean, like he gets all polite. She does it opposite.
For living, right? I'm definitely for living. And I'm definitely for people doing the right thing when they need to be doing it. So anyhow, that's all I'm going to say about that. But yeah, right. I'm 45. I did. God knows I did. And wish I didn't, sometimes, but
Okay, I think at that point someone asked her if she had a baby, and she said, yeah, she's 45, and she had a baby. Has anybody in here in the chat ever had a baby over 40? My friend Jennifer did. I know our second lady, Usha Vance, she's pregnant now, and she's 40. A friend of my mom's was like 54. My Aunt Patty was a lot older. Pat Kay's mom, was over 40. Woo! Tell you what, I wouldn't even know what I would do. Jean said her best friend did it 48. What bet, baby?
I had a question real quick, and then I'm gonna drop off. I've got some things I've got to take care of. Yesterday on that live, were you replaying an old of Lisa J, or was the first of it, the first hour, was that her with you yesterday in real time?
Yeah, that was her live, and we had started the conversation, and she wanted me to record it and put it on YouTube. And I was like, you know, you can hear at the end of the recording, which I think I put that on like an hour or so later. I said, let's just go live and you can tell your story. And so it's basically all from the same day, just different time frames. Like one is from like 5:30 a.m. and then one is when we did the live.
Yeah, I mean, she definitely sounds like, at this point like she has just studied everything over the years and has become very creator centric, and she's just adding in all the stuff she's heard from online to whatever her original stuff was. She's definitely full of it. But I do want to clarify, I don't know her. I've never met her a day in my life, and that you know.
Yeah, that's what rubs me the wrong way, because I mean she's claiming to know everybody, and I thought she was kind of like a Lisa K. Ruitz when I first heard about her. You know, like Lisa K. Ruitz. No, she does. I'm telling you, she knows everybody in every case. She either went to high school with them, became friends with them, one thing after another, and I'm like, eek! And her name's Lisa. Leave me out of it. You know what I mean?
She's creepy. She's a collector of something. She's weird. That woman is, ugh, she makes my skin crawl.
Are you looking at the screen? I need to show you something about Lisa K. She's a superhero. She's a retiree,
She's a superhero.
quilter by day. Yep, and she solves crimes at night. Tell you what.
She also really loves collecting goofy, abusive, weird men, especially those who are locked up in cells, and those are who most likely to be guilty. She's one of those weirdos that would marry somebody in prison on a death row. You know, the woman has a problem.
Yeah,
I'm sure those taped somewhere.
Her birthday's coming up, and I'm gonna have a live, and I'm gonna celebrate her best hits. I mean, every bit. I'm gonna celebrate everything. I mean, I've known her for almost 6 years, and I'm gonna bring out every theory, speculation, who she knows, who she went to high school with. I mean, everything. It's going to be interesting.
First made her appearance. A lot of it's scrubbed now offline, and she would get it done in real time. You know, even then, but she told a whole lot of lies on all of us. You could tell she was no different than the rest online. She'd studied, ferreted out little pieces. She wove her own stories around them, acted like she was close to everybody, had all the details. She was visiting every panel. Lisa K is something else, let me tell you.
Oh, she is, and I celebrate everything she does. Like I said, I never get mad at her. I really don't. I actually like our back and forth. She is one thing after another. She's smart. She's really smart, but she can't just give an opinion. She's got to know someone. Like she's got to name drop. You know what I'm saying? And I'm always like, you don't have to know them to know, dude. Okay. You could have said, I read this in the New York Post and I put it together with this. I mean, I would have more respect for that than that you're just on the inside. You know what I mean? But yeah, we're gonna celebrate her. We got a big Lisa K. Ruitz tournament coming up. But remember, she said I cannot use her picture anymore, or she'll put a privacy strike on me. So I don't know if it's because she has a CoverGirl contract, Maybelline, like Elon Musk's mother. I don't know what's going on. So there must be something to where you can't use her image in your thumbnail. It's very strange. Okay, let's get back to what Prayer Garden said last night about my favorite host person, Lisa Jetson, who slept in a shed with Dawn Wells and lived in their home for a very long time. And a bunch of children were found in the shed. Okay.
There's only one, you know, 3 sheets in the wind that needed to come back home. And I don't regret the time I spent with that. But anyway, I'm gonna get right to it because Lisa, you are the liar, and Pam, quit fantasizing. Stop fantasizing. You didn't. Now, I don't believe you said. I don't believe you said that PG, was trying to do stuff to every man's that came up here on the panel. But I do believe.
Yeah, that's when she said that old, not old, but old PG wanted to have like some sort of a penis sucking contest and look like a damn circus seal.
Oh,
Okay,
Jesus.
so yeah, well, she's a married woman and she's a new mama. And she's just saying she's not really happy about that. We all heard that because I had to ask exactly who was she wanting to orally pleasure? What are you talking about? And she tells me, and I'm like, what? Okie doke. Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's like it's deflection. Anything to stay away from Summer. Now, I have it in another case that is somewhat connected to Summer. Some people just don't want pedophiles to pay for what they do. And this circle that's going on is disgusting.
Yeah.
I mean, it goes from Kentucky to Arkansas into Tennessee.
I heard a recording. I don't believe it. I got the recording. I can play the recording, Pam, of you saying it about Don Wells, right? You were saying it about Donald Wells. And that is true. And I heard it with my own ears, Pam, what you said. And that was just you. That was you fantasizing. Obviously something about Donald made you want to, use your mouth for more than just talking. And but don't put that shit on me. Don't put that shit on me. Hell to the no. Sloppy seconds ain't my style. And neither is mother freaking people with illegal substance abuse habits. I stay clear of that shit, Pam. You might not, but PG does. I don't mess with alcoholics. I don't mess with illegal substance abusers. I don't mess with mother freaking trash. And that's exactly what's up on Ben Hill Road, right? 110 Ben Hill Road is pure garbage.
I love it. Okay, so this is the reaction part of this because Prayer Garden obviously reacted to what went on yesterday. Okay, she had a lot to say. She actually did not know, no offense, Rebecca, who your grandson, who Corey is.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know our story. That's why I keep talking about it.
That's
a lot of people don't know.
And by the way, there's 359 people in right now. And let's do it again tomorrow because tomorrow, Corey, well, I'm going to let Rebecca say it.
Tomorrow is his 5-year death anniversary, I guess, if that's what you want to call it. So, I'm going to do a couple live streams with anybody who is willing. And I know I've heard from some people that I need to shut up about my dead grandson. Nobody wants to hear about it. But guess what? I don't care. I'm going to talk about it because this shit happens and people need to know about it. And I'm always going to say Corey's name and I'm going to tell his story. And if somebody doesn't want to listen, then turn it off. You don't have to listen. It's your choice. But I'm going to talk about him because when Corey was here, he didn't have a voice. Nobody listened. So I'm going to make sure people hear his name and his story.
And as most of you remember, we've been here not since day one. We came in June of 2021. I reached out to her daughter, Bree, and we did several shows, and then we'll talk more about that tomorrow. Okay, so not to change the subject, I just wanted our friend Rebecca to say something.
Right.
And
Brooke, I don't know if I'm allowed, but I'm of course I'm going to come on here and talk with you about it tomorrow as much as you want to, let me talk, but however, much you want to go into detail tomorrow. But I'm also doing something on my own channel. I'm not trying to plug it here and I won't say it, but just if anybody is aware of my channel, just come, I'm going to talk about Corey at some point tomorrow evening on my own channel as well. So just wanted to put that out there.
plug away, baby. And we have other creators in here. True Crime Beat already said, I'm going to do something about Sweet Corey tomorrow. That's what I'm talking about. Family, community, and plug her channel anytime.
I appreciate anyone that says his name and talks about him on their channel. I appreciate you. I just want people to, I don't want people to, and I know this show isn't about me today, but I just real quick want to say, Corey was so much more than the boy on the treadmill. And I just want people to know that he had a happy, great life until he didn't.
And I've never seen a family, and I don't mean to say this the wrong way. I want to say it again tomorrow. I'm not saying you're poor. I'm not saying you're working class, but of limited means against the government to take this on, okay, and get justice. I mean, I admire the fuck out of you and your entire family.
Thank you. It wasn't easy. And if Bree didn't make that Facebook group, I don't think this would have happened. I don't think Chris would have been charged with anything other than maybe child endangerment. If Bree didn't make that group and get all of you involved, I don't think it ever would have happened.
And look, after all this time, we're still here. We're still here. Tomorrow,
some of you are not. Some people dropped off after sentencing, and that's okay. But you're here, and so many of you are still here, and we appreciate you. We might not talk to everybody all the time, but we appreciate you. I mean, I go through videos late at night and watch shows that people have done about Corey way back when, and I mean, we appreciate all of you. Those that are still here and those that went, we appreciate what you did when you were here. I have no grudges against anybody.
Very strange thing. Well, I was told to step away, but that's often for me.
That's a whole different story.
Yeah, we're not going to worry about that. I've been told to F off many times.
Yeah.
True Crime Beat, I met her through Corey's group, which has nothing to do with Corey, but friendships have been formed.
Right. Yeah.
Speaking of friendships, Lips, Lisa, no one sent Lisa a picture, so you can go ahead and try to explain it. Who's Lisa and Lisa? Is this like Lisa and Cult Jam? Are you okay, Lips? The hell are you doing over here? Good Lord, Lips. You just came in and you're raising my goddamn anxiety.
Brooks, I got a little lost with the lady that was, I guess it was pre-recorded and you were playing it, and she said something about somebody fantasizing about Dawn. Did I hear that right?
That was yesterday afternoon. Oh yeah, right now. Yeah, right now. That's Prayer Garden. Yeah. Okay, I'll get back to it.
Yeah, that would give me nightmares. I would not.
I'm just going to put this nicely.
About that man I'd want on my lips or anywhere else.
I think you're mother freaking garbage too. I think you're two-faced mother freaking garbage. And you don't deserve any good friends because you don't know how to be a friend. Okay? In order to have friends, you need to learn how to be one. You could never be one. So you don't deserve any. And, and that's who you are. That's who you are. And to be honest with you, I wish I didn't ever I wish I wouldn't have ever even knew you. And that's the truth. I'm too damn good for you.
Ooh.
I'm too damn good for you.
Woo.
Yes.
Damn.
Absolutely. You did not ever deserve.
Whether you like prayer garden or not, I'm going to tell you right now, what she is saying is it's concrete, baby. I'm telling you what, a diamond blade can't get through that rock, whether you like her or you don't. I'm telling you right now. We heard Lisa yesterday be totally rude to our friend Rebecca. Okay? To our friend Rebecca. If she's not your friend, you can't be friends with me. Okay? I don't care about your politics. I care about your damn morality. And I had to get in her fucking ass sideways like a plunger in Adam Montgomery's cell. I was furious. Okay? And she dropped a lot of stuff that upset a lot of people. And so, I mean, Prayer Garden, she's a new mother. She's a newlywed. She's 45. And she's trying to set her ass right. Let me put it that way.
My kindness, my caring. You didn't deserve anything because you're a hater. You're a hater and you're two-faced. You come up on my panel and you try to act all nice. And you would go and get with Beth Ann's and Lisa's and anyone really that would give you the time of day. But I'm going to tell you, it's all coming back to you. You're meeting people just like yourself. And you know what? I'm damn glad to see it. I'm damn glad to see it because that's what you deserve. People just like you. Right?
She's right. You're meeting people just like yourself because you go to these transient communities because even though you live in a capitalistic society, you have never even tried to do anything except for get free hotel rooms, free cardboard, a free Sharpie, and get money and lean on the government. And when it's too cold outside, you've got money saved up from taking it by people that drive by so you can get a hotel. True story. You heard her on the show. She's not stupid. She's not. She's not stupid.
No.
Let's get to Beth Ann. Beth Ann's going to come up in a second, and I guess she's going to really clear the air.
Don't come back around PG. You're not welcome. You're not welcome. Keep your ass in the bushes. Keep your ass in the bushes because you ain't welcomed here. And that's the truth. And I'll tell you another thing, Lisa. You're a liar. You came right up here on this panel. Every single person in this chat tonight, every single one of these people that's been here for 4.5 years knows that you came up on this panel and you told about Don Wells having you and other people living. And I got recordings of that too, Lisa. Let me tell you something. I record everything, girlfriend. And right now I might be busy. I might be busy with my baby. Now I'm going to tell you something, Lisa. My baby's in a house. It's in its nursery. You know what a nursery is? I'll tell you what it is, Lisa. It's a private room for your baby that has a crib bed and it has a changing table. It has a rocking chair, right? It has all these things, Lisa. All these nice things. And it has all the baby's clothes. It has everything in there. You want to come up, Beth Ann? I'm bringing you up, small town.
Hey.
Okay, so there's Beth Ann. Prayer Garden is basically letting old girl know we don't raise babies in the shed. Like she said, I have a baby. The baby has a room with a crib, clothes, probably a diaper changing station, probably one of those diaper genies, a bunch of diapers, not out in the shed, laying on a bale of hay with a receiving blanket.
No. Like I said, you keep your lawnmower, your hedge trimmers, stuff like that in your shed. You don't keep your baby in a shed.
No. I've heard of people converting garages into something and saying, okay, this is going to be our room and the kids can have those rooms. That's a totally different story.
Right.
Totally different story. All right, so here comes Beth Ann up to put everything to peace from yesterday.
You're on panel.
I tried helping you. I really did.
Try helping me how?
When Lisa would call you and she told you about Pam, I tried warning you.
You're the one that recorded Pam saying the ugly stuff about Don Wells.
I didn't record just her. I was recording that guy that that Lisa was with. That's what I was doing.
This guy right here? The one at the hotel? Right there? On at the bottom with the glasses on?
No.
Which one was you recording?
The homeless man.
A homeless man.
Yeah, like I don't remember what his name was, Grover or something. Ogre.
You're talking about Ogre.
Ogre, yes.
Yeah.
I was recording him when Pam joined the call because he was telling me where Don Wells was trying to get him to pick up other children.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's what I was trying to do. And then Pam joined the call, and that's when she started talking about you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And that's when you recorded her and sent it to me.
Okay. So you can see on the screen, there's Prayer Garden. There's Beth Ann. There's Lisa Jetson. There's the pedophile that was at the motel. There's a big difference between a motel and a hotel. Okay. There's Candace. Okay. And then we'll get to it. But Ogre, I think his name is John, is actually good friends with Dawn and Candace Wells. Okay. And Beth Ann is very good friends with Lisa Jetson and a few other people. Okay.
Me.
Yes.
So how come you didn't send me the part of Ogre talking about Don Wells wanting him to pick up?
I didn't send it to you. Lisa sent it to you.
Lisa never sent that to me. She did not ever send that to me. She told you she sent that to me?
Yeah.
No.
Remember, the Lisa we're talking about right now is the Lisa Jetson with the hair thing on her hair smiling in this thing up on the screen from PG's channel. Okay. Okay. So that's the Lisa. Now, she also had a very unfortunate accident or something happened. And that might have to be a separate show because, again, she was at a motel and she was with, I believe, a grandmother and her grandchild. Something happened in the hotel and they had to wash the girl's vagina, and they were trying to use things like to dry it out and everything. Lisa was on a 3-way call with 2 other people, and no one called the police. Not one person.
Just an odd bunch of people.
That's a nice way of putting it.
Yeah. I don't know how to say it any other,
No, that's a damn nice way of putting it.
No, she didn't. No, she didn't. So that right there shows that Lisa was in on that stuff. It shows that she's a liar. If she told you she sent that to me, girlfriend, she lied to you. Because the only thing, recording I got,
I cut ties with him. I don't want nothing to do with them.
I'm going to tell you something. I don't want nothing to do with them as well. I want nothing to do with them whatsoever. Now, I know for a fact that Lisa came right on this panel and said that she was in a shed with other people and their children. And she plainly told me, she said, PG, there was a man that came in and he took my baby away. And she said, and, gave her some stuff. She said she did the stuff and went to sleep. And she said she didn't know how long she'd been sleeping, but he brought the baby back and gave it to her. And she said then that there was other people in there, other people with children too. And she said, PG, the only reason they picked up Candace was because Candace was pregnant. And Pam brought Candace to her house because Candace was pregnant. She said, and then Candace went to the hospital to have the baby, and they took it because she, it was, according to Lisa, the baby was, addicted to illegal drugs. And she said that the baby, Child Protective Services came in, took the baby away, and Candace still went back to Pam's house. And that's when she got with Donald. And Pam caught him and told Donald to get
The fuck is this? Troll Wednesday? At 0Pam55. No, everybody needs to keep their mouths off of me. I don't know who you are, but you're more than welcome to grab the link. Come on
I don't
up.
remember talking about anybody, but
No. I mean, the Pam she's talking about is Pam Wells' daughter. Do you look like this person? Are you her daughter?
No, not me.
Okay, so Rebecca's marked safe. 0Pam55. 0Pam55. Rebecca, can you page 0Pam55?
Why don't they come up on panel and talk? They want to talk. Let's talk.
Yeah, I got all day. My goodness.
the hell out of there and take Candace with him. And Donald did. And this is at the time, at this time, Lisa said that right when Donald and Candace was leaving out of there, she said that they had gotten that law enforcement pulled up all over the place. They kind of came into the property, Donald's and Pam's property, and they raided it. They basically, pulled up and did a raid. And they came in there and they arrested, she told me they arrested a couple of people there, men, for essaying children. She said there was another man that got arrested at a church that was, involved in this stuff over there. And they picked him up. She said some of them got away. And she said that it was her baby and some other children inside this place, and they all got taken. She said all the children got took. She said there was one man that would sleep up on the roof of the shed to keep watch, supposed to be keeping watch for law enforcement, supposed to be keeping watch up there. And I guess he fell asleep. And she said that, and there was tents in the backyard. She said there was tents in the backyard with other people in them. And she said that, told me that all of these kids got taken out of there and none of them was given back due to SA. And the people there was arrested for SA.
Yes, they were. You knew who was not arrested though? Because I double checked the documents yesterday in Arkansas. You know who wasn't arrested? Lisa Jetson, Dawn Wells, and Pamela Wells. Okay? Okay. Now, Pamela Tate, did you get a new YouTube? I find that hard to believe because you are not tech savvy. Okay? You are not tech savvy at all. And you know how to talk. I know what I know your name and I know your avatar. So if you're screwing around, then screw around somewhere else. This is about summer. Because whether people want to believe it or not, this is part of the case. This transient lifestyle that went on for years and years and years before.
Right.
That were picked up in homeless shelters, put in tents, taken out of sheds. That is a precursor to what happened to Summer.
I believe that. It shows a pattern. It shows their character.
Yeah.
I mean, you have all these different people that you don't know around your kids. I mean, shit, something's bound to happen.
My goodness. I mean, you ought to see what it takes. I mean, just the 30 minutes I spent alone with my granddaughter. I mean, it's like insane. It's absolutely crazy. It's like, whoa.
I don't know.
That's what she told. And she said even her child was not given back for SA.
Right.
And she said that right freaking here on our panel, and she said it more than once. More than once, she talked about
me that Frances got her kids back. I don't know any of these people. All I can tell you is the more I heard over time, the more I got disgusted, and I told her I could not be anywhere around anybody that, her mother's a drug addict.
Well, this guy down here on the corner.
Around them.
And on the corner with the glasses. He was the one that when those children, the lady at the hotel and those children were there that Don and Candace was befriending, they were at the hotel. I'm going to start at the beginning of all of this. I'm going to start at the beginning of all of this.
Okay. I love when people find religion, get off drugs, then find out they're sick. Okay. I'm not going to speak the obvious. I'm just going to say that's what I see. Lisa Jetson still knows them. Okay. She is still friendly with them.
Yeah.
She is friends with Ogre. She is friends with Candace. She met them in 2023. I have a feeling it had to do with the tent revival here that Justin provided. And it did go to the motel in Springdale, Arkansas. Justin texted that to me yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay. Justin's not buying tents for himself. Okay. I'm telling you, he's not. There was a lot of stuff going on there. But she hightailed it, down to Springdale to see her old homeless, let's get free food money, free food people. That's how she met them.
Yeah.
So it really is all going to come together at some point. But there's a lot of people in this. I mean, there is a lot. That little fucking freak down there in the bottom right-hand corner, I mean, he's really freaking me out that he was at the hotel and he was told he had to go. Lisa Jetson meeting people at hotels.
Yeah.
Or homeless shelters and bringing them to hotels.
Yeah.
Candace hiding people out. Come on, man.
That little girl could be anywhere. Anything could have happened to her with the characters around her. I don't know that we'll ever know.
I agree.
You right here, it says PG. These two ladies are staying in the Salvation Army. They are talking about people trafficking children. It's disturbing to me. What's disturbing about it? You already got your kid took for SA, right? You already got your kid took for with a lot of other kids for, you know, and people got arrested. People got arrested because they, you know, they were in the garage doing this bad stuff to these children, right? And she says right here, how could that be disturbing to her when she's in on this stuff? And then she says right here, because the way they describe it, it is the same thing that happened to Summer. How does she know what happened to Summer? How the hell does she know what happened to Summer? She, you know, she says that she does. Right there's a mission.
Good point. Good point. That is a mission statement. Now I know what happened to Summer. Okay, why would you not talk to the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation yesterday? And why in almost 5 years, Lisa Jetton, did you not call, or Bonner, or whatever your fucking name is? Why did you not call the TBI? Why did you not call them? You've watched this shit for a long time. You've been accused of trafficking yourself. You girl, you have. I mean, you're right there in the precipice of it. I mean, you're in Pandora's box, bitch. You lived with them. You were in the shed. You've lost 6 children.
Wow.
A newborn baby taken for sexual abuse. How the fuck does that happen?
Disgusting.
How does it happen anyway? I will never know. I will never know. Because
Brooke, I have to get off of here. I got somewhere I got to be, but
then I will see you tomorrow at 10 o'clock your time.
Okay, sounds good. I'm sorry I have to cut out. I have to do something real quick, but I will see you tomorrow, and I appreciate you. Thank you for everything you do for everybody, and I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, everyone, give a lot of love to our friend Rebecca. Absolutely ridiculous behavior.
He's saying, I know what happened to Summer. Well, you know what? I'm not going to doubt that. And I'm glad she went, you know, to Brooks and ran her mouth today because, you know, it was letting me put together 2 and 2 plus 4. I'm like, oh, damn. Yeah. You know what? This is making sense because.
Oh my God.
It's making sense because I'll tell you why. Right here. Hold on, I'm going to bring this up. This is the boogeyman. This is the boogeyman. He got arrested in 2012.
Okay. This is the guy she was talking about yesterday who was in the shed. All right. Did anyone in here when you were like 5, 6, 7, 8 ever play connect the dots? Well, obviously with this case, we have to play it that way again. All right. I did have a comment yesterday saying, are you going to apologize if Summer just wandered out in the woods? Hell no, I'm not. Hell no, I'm not. For one, it's already been ruled out by Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. 2, the FBI card unit already said she was not abducted. But I'm seeing way too many dots that I can connect, and Joy can connect, Plead the Fifth can connect, Kat can connect, Britt can connect, for me to feel too comfortable. This bullshit yesterday and what Jody Sue confirmed about these people that they pick up from churches. They pick them up at churches that feed people. And they have a lot of people around them. A lot. A lot. I have never been homeless. I will say that right now. Never been homeless. I don't exactly know how I would handle something like that. I would think somebody would say, hey, no, I got an extra bedroom for you till you get back on your feet. I mean, I would think so. They have a different lifestyle, which is very strange to me. And to say, I have an apartment, but I don't want it anymore. I would rather go panhandle and go to local churches and shelters and things like that. And I'm like, okay, but you had a roof over your head. So I'm not going to judge Lisa for being at Dawn and Pam Wells' house, because at the time it could have been all she could do. She'd already lost 5 children to the state. The last one was taken out of the shed. None of this seems random to me. Okay? None of this seems random. All right, so this is the boogeyman. And I can't tell you how many times we have listened to that video of Don talking to his grandson in the hotel in Springdale. And Candace keeps saying, do you want me to get the boogeyman? Do you want me to get the boogeyman? And I'm like, oh my gosh, why would you say that to someone? It's making more sense now.
100 and some years in jail out of Arkansas, Lafayette, where they all are, right? Yeah, this is the boogeyman, y'all. That was married, allegedly. I don't know if he was dating or he was married to Pamela Wells' oldest daughter. Pamela Wells had a son and a daughter when she married Don Wells. And then she had a son and a daughter by Donald. Now, I don't know if this is Pamela Wells' son by the other man or if it's her daughter's.
Okay, for Pamela Wells, I have a question. Where did the other 14 fucking kids come from? According to Lisa Jetson, people would just leave random homeless kids with them. And she had like this whole tribe of children. And once they got to a certain age, they would just move away. Yeah.
Boyfriend or husband, but he has something to do with Pamela Wells, this boogeyman guy. And he was one of them hanging around there when Lisa J's ass was inside that fucking shed. Mm-hmm. Over at the Wells place in Arkansas. Right, Lisa? You're watching, you know this mother freaker. Candace and Dawn knows this mother freaker, right? Anybody in that sick group of people know who this man right here is, right? Because he always affiliated with this ass. That's what I'm talking about.
You know what? I never knew Lisa had 6 kids.
And she lost every damn one of them. She lost every damn one of them.
She said it on my show yesterday. She has 6 children. And the last one she lost in the shed behind Dawn and Pam's house. Okay? Then she met Candace at the homeless shelter. And they've been friends ever since.
And why do you think she lost them? And I'm going to tell you another thing. Do you know after her kid got took out of that shed with them other kids for essaying, and she didn't ever get the child back? Did you know that she went to another house down the street? See, Pam and Donald lived in the one house with the garage and all the tents and stuff for these homeless parents and to bring their kids and stuff. But there was another house right down the street. Once Don's house got busted, once Don Wells' house got busted, there was another house down the street that opened up with these sickos in it. And do you know that there was a guy sitting on the porch totally doing...
I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
He was sitting on the porch.
Oh my goodness. Hold on. Webs of deceit. Ooh, nobody wants to hear my opinion on this. Webs of deceit asks a question that people never want me to answer. Why are we allowing people who have kids taken by CPS to have 5 more kids? Whew. I say if you're just having a hard time at home, between jobs and need some government help, that's one thing. If you have abused a child from then, you have a scarlet letter on you. And the minute a baby pops out, it is taken and a family will adopt it. We have had some friends around here that have run into some hard times. They're very hard stories to hear, and I am not here to judge them. Your child was taken for abuse, sexual abuse, drugs, anything like that. There's no second chances. Bye. Gone. Bye. Gone. Candace, if Arkansas and Tennessee had an interstate compact, Josie, Waylon, Wyatt, and Summer would have been taken the minute they were born. The minute they were born.
Right in broad daylight, out on this porch, violating this little child, and Lisa was right there with them, right there at that place with these sick people, and a neighbor come down the street, saw what was going on, went and called law enforcement and Child Protective Services. They pulled up out there. They took the child into custody and arrested that sick pervert right off of that porch. And you know what? Did Lisa get that baby any help? Did she call anybody to get that baby? Hell no. She was right freaking there participating in that stuff. She was at the Wells house in that shed participating in that stuff. This bitch is a lifelong participator, and that's why she didn't send me the video of what Ogre was saying about Don Wells. She didn't want to send me the video because she's a participator in that kind of sickness, right?
Oh, I will tell you the thing about the little girl in the hotel.
Yes.
Nobody thought I called anybody. I did call. I just didn't say anything to everybody because it was under an active investigation. Yes, I did keep talking to Lisa because the detective asked me to get all the info that I could.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's another
And I
thing.
did.
They didn't, that's another case. That's another case where Lisa was there and a little girl was, was a baby, it was a baby in that hotel room, a little baby getting, doing horrible things to it in the bathtub and stuff. And they were actually.
That's the call that Lisa Jetton had with Brat and Beth Ann, and they were at a hotel, and a little girl had an issue. And I just don't know why you would have a three-way call and nobody on the call said, "Where are you?" "Well, I'm at the blah, blah, blah in Fayetteville, Arkansas." "Okay. So I'm going to get some help over there now." They sat there and listened to the whole freaking phone call. Every damn one of them. Every damn one of them. 9 days later, someone made a phone call. But they're such child advocates. This is my thing with the Summer Wells case. And I promise, I hope this does not offend anyone. A lot of people, I'm going to say right now, none of you, I don't believe that at all. They cling to this case because they've lost children. They've done horrible things, all right, to their children. They were scared of the system, whatever their excuses. I'm not going to worry about that today. Not going to worry about that today. That they look at Dawn and Candace and they know that they're a lot worse than them. It's basically sociology 101. It's like, poor people look at celebrity tabloids. Okay, they do. Because they're like, "Oh, I'm not as bad as them. I'm not as bad as them." But they do. They cling to this, and they love to talk about Dawn and Candace and all these people involved. I really don't care about the people that follow the case, except for you guys. I care about the people that make excuses for child sexual abuse. I really do. And I certainly care about the lies that were said yesterday from Lisa Jetton.
Videoing it for some weirdos. There was like a lot of people watching what they was doing to this child inside this hotel. Lisa was in there. She got this baby no help. She let them do what they did to this little child. God only knows where the child is. If they ever found it, I don't know. But
they located the child. The child is safe.
They finally got the baby. The child wasn't safe. The child wasn't safe. They already messed that child up inside of that hotel room.
Okay, well, she was safe with her mom. That's what they told me.
Mercy. And then, that's another case. That's another case where they were in there violating a little child. And Lisa got no help for the baby. Everybody was calling law enforcement, but not Lisa, right? Not Lisa. She didn't. She was participating again, you guys. She was participating again. And then this ain't even the half of it. I think it was you and Brat was on the video of this going down as well. You and Brat was watching it all as well. It was you, yep. Brat. Lisa was showing you guys all of what was going on inside this place.
She was complaining. She was in the room and she was complaining about her mother, right? And the only thing I seen when she turned the camera around was that little girl sitting on the bed next to that Randy girl. And I noticed she didn't have a shirt on. And I said, "Where's that little girl's clothes at?" She said they got wet or dirty or something. And they were
I'm going to tell you, that ain't what Brat said.
So something happened to this child in the hotel room with Lisa, Randy, and the little girl. For whatever reason, Lisa Jetton does a three-way call with Beth Ann and Brat, who they said they called the police. I don't know, because obviously the police didn't intervene. All right. They said there was some sort of like white something coming out of her, you know what? And they put her in the bathtub to clean her from the inside out. That is disgusting. That is when you take a child to the hospital. You do not do that to a child. You are not a nurse. And everything that's coming out now is nothing but common denominators. Common denominators. And they all know each other. And I do understand this Beth Ann up here, she's suffering from cancer right now, but I don't believe a fucking thing she says. Okay? I can tell you right now, I would never be on a phone call with someone saying this is going on with a child and me not get any ounce of information to get law enforcement there ASAP. ASAP. You're going to be there. If I have the wrong hotel, they'll find the next hotel. Y'all poor as fuck. It won't take them long to figure out what dirtbag hotel you're at.
Brat said that they had that baby in a bathtub doing bad stuff to it. She said that they had it on the bed and showing everybody, you know, these people. There was somebody else videoing with she could hear men. She could hear men.
I don't think Brat's seen it. I think that is what Lisa had said.
No, Brat was on the video. She was on the video. She was on the video watching. She said it was her and you that Lisa had you and Brat on the video. She don't know who else Lisa might have had on the video, but she knows that her and you was there. I didn't
see anything happen to the little girl.
Seeing all of this.
Yeah, I didn't see anything happen. I heard.
And supposedly they had this baby in the bathtub, saying they were washing it on the inside and doing weird stuff to it.
Okay, Brat's just on YouTube, okay? And Beth Ann is on the screen right now. Brat's been in here before. Obviously, there's a conversation that needs to be had, okay? Obviously. When you make a video like that, it's actually called, what's the name? C-scam. That's it. That's what it's called. You're sitting there doing a three-way call, but you can't get help for this child. Again, way too many parallels, too many common denominators.
They had it out on the bed, showing people, you know, places that should not be showed on a child. They was doing weird stuff out on the bed with it. Yeah, you know, totally violating this child.
I did not see any of that. I heard about it.
Right? Australia says
I heard about it, and I said to Lisa, you need to call the police.
Crying. You know what, Brat? I talked to Brat, and Brat, you know, told me that I asked her. I said, "Did you report it? Did you call law enforcement?" I called law enforcement, and told them. I called law enforcement over there in Arkansas and told them about this. Anyway,
I did too.
And I was
give the detective's name.
And I kept calling and I kept trying to find out, you know, what happened to this baby, if they found this baby. And I kept hearing that not yet, so if they did find this child, they didn't tell me about it.
Yeah,
They didn't tell me that it was found
her.
unsafe with this mother. Because the last time I was hearing.
Oh, listen, I think, in my opinion, I believe what's going on the screen and what happened yesterday is way more important than 3 people in chat having a personal issue with each other who they don't even know. They don't know these people. Okay? They don't live by each other. They don't vacation with each other. Nothing like that. So let's just leave it right there. Okay?
They hadn't found this child because no one could identify the room of the hotel. Nobody had any real information about the room number of this hotel.
I didn't have a room number either.
And they only had you
don't fucking need the room number, because people sometimes, when they're pedophiles, they can buy up several different rooms with several different cards, especially hotels like this. And they use those chime cards or those Godot cards or whatever. It could be the same person getting different cards to do different things. Don't worry. If you have the room number, it's great. But nobody had the police go over there when this was happening to this little girl. And Lisa was right there on the phone showing it to other people.
Roundabout to what hotel it was.
Right.
And so I don't know. I can't say the baby was found safe and put with this. I can't say none of that because, like I said, the last time I checked it, law enforcement said, pretty much they probably wasn't going to find that baby, because there wasn't enough info to find that baby.
Well, if you wanna know, call and speak to Detective Lopez, and she'll tell you.
Well, you send me his number and I will, because you know what,
Okay.
Okay, by the way, I love PG's show. I thought she knocked out of the park last night, but don't smoke inside the house. You have a baby in there, go outside and air out your lungs. Don't give that baby secondhand smoke. I don't care how many air filters you have around. I mean, I'll send her one if she wants it, but it's not going to do the trick. Just don't do that. Does anyone in here smoke inside their house? I'm not going to judge you if you do. My parents used to, but that was in the 80s.
Will.
All right.
Okay, hold on. I know what I'm looking for.
Time that those 3 kids and that mother came up missing from the hotel. Now I heard Justin, and Justin was one of them that told me that he was looking for that mother and them too. And I called that hotel. I called the police over there, and I told them about.
And Justin sent me the receipts. I know exactly when they were. I know exactly what Justin bought. And now I know that the family that was with them is another transient family that they just picked up from a local church that, of course, Lisa Judson just had to meet them at. Well, I'll tell you what, I dodged a bullet. You know how, my friends? Because Thanksgiving weekend, Lisa and her mom, Carol, We were talking on Facebook and, we're talking about the day and like what's going on, like turkey, ham, all those kind of things. Like, whatever you're going to have for Thanksgiving. And they wanted to come stay with us for the weekend. And I'm like, yeah, you're just going to have leftovers, come on over. Do you know how long it would have taken me to get them out of here? True story. Now I feel like I was being like used a little bit for somewhere for them to stay. I know it doesn't make any sense. But now that I know the transient lifestyle, well, I don't know, but you know what I mean. They wanted to come stay with us. And I'm like, well, not on Thanksgiving Day, but I'm like, yeah, come over on Saturday. I'm like, we're just going to watch football, spend the night. I'll feed you. It's going to be, Thanksgiving leftovers. And I'm like thinking now, I'm like, whoa. They may have never left. I've never heard anyone brag about all the free food you can get from churches. Never heard anyone talk about such things. I mean, if you want a free shower, go to the truck stop. There's always a truck driver with extra credits, I'm telling you. And if you choose to live that way, so be it. But it needs to be against the law, okay? It really does need to be against the law.
This woman and her 3 children that, I felt had disappeared, that I called the hotel, that they said that she was there that this woman's been around there a long time. And they were surprised she was missing too, that she hadn't been around there. And they did say that other people had been inquiring about her and those children. But she came up missing at the very exact time that Lisa Jensen, at the very exact time that Lisa called the police. Candace told Lisa that she wanted Lisa to call the police to the hotel about the girl and the kids. Lisa gets a hold of Beth Ann. She gets a hold of Pam, and she tries to get Pam to do it first. And Pam said, I ain't doing that. And then Pam said, I know who might. So they get a hold of Beth Ann, and Beth Ann did it. Beth Ann made the phone call to the police to send them to the hotel because that's what Lisa and Candace had planned. And you know what? The girl was hiding up the staircase while the police was there. Candace knew the police was coming, and she had the girl and the kids hiding upstairs. Right here it is, baby. Right here, slow motion.
Oh, you're fine.
Yep, I have never seen this before. Okay, there's Candace. And there's the woman they were hiding up there with her kids. And Candace is sitting there going, oh, no, you're fine. And she's on live talking about this. This is absolutely ridiculous. Trust me, Candace is not friends with this woman. Okay? Candace has no friends. Candace is not a real friend. She's never had a real friend. Has zero idea what a real friend is. Do you see old Kant putting a card in the mail and saying, happy birthday, friend? No. Do you see her going to a baby shower? I mean, do you see her? Not about looks. I'm talking about her morality. This woman is homeless. And she's holding food behind her back, which she might have taken from Dawn and Candace, so be it. Probably went and got those tents from Justin for her and her family to live in.
Right here. After the police left, Candace had this woman hiding from the police with her kids upstairs. After the police left, they come back down because Candace and Dawn was letting them stay in their hotel. They were letting them stay in the room They were befriending this woman. This woman.
They damn sure were. They certainly were doing that. Okay. Candace decides, because she's watching YouTube, to go sit on the steps, and she said, "Oh, Donnie sleeps naked. Donnie sleeps naked." Okay. But they didn't know where the kids were, and they didn't know where old girl was. And now she comes down the stairs to sneak out. Some people said it's because she's an illegal immigrant. Candace and Dawn don't care about that shit. They don't care about that. And I guarantee the police were smarter than that, because I saw the hotel room. There was a few toys in there. So it's either no one picked up from Dawn's grandchildren being there, or this woman brought a few toys from the homeless shelter. I don't know. But she got right out on the steps to tell everyone everything's okay.
And she gets a hold of Pam, and she tries to get Pam to do it first. And Pam said, "I ain't doing that." And then Pam said, "I know who might." So they get a hold of Beth Ann, and Beth Ann did it. Beth Ann made the phone call to the police to send them to the hotel, because that's what Lisa and Candace had planned. And you know what? The girl was hiding up the staircase while the police was there. Candace knew the police was coming, and she had the girl and the kids hiding upstairs. Right here it is, baby. Right here, slow motion.
Oh, you're fine, hon.
Right here. After the police left, Candace had this woman hiding from the police with her kids upstairs. After the police left, they come back down because Candace and Dawn was letting them stay in their hotel. They were letting them stay in the room. They were befriending this woman. This woman disappeared right after this. Right after this, she disappeared. And Dawn and Candace wanted to make sure if any of it came back on them, they would have, the police came, the police checked their room, this woman or her kids wasn't there. Right? They wanted to cover their asses. And they got fucking Lisa to get a hold of somebody else. Not herself. Don't implicate yourself. Get a hold of somebody else. And she got a hold of Pam. And Pam wouldn't do it. And then she got a hold of Pam and her got a hold of Beth Ann. And Beth Ann's the one that made the call. But they had this woman upstairs hiding. And when she comes down, Candace lets her know it's okay. Listen to her. Listen to what she said. It's all right. Look. Listen to what she says.
Oh, you're fine, hon.
See? Oh, you're fine, hon. The police are gone. You're fine. Come on back down. Right there it is, baby. In everybody's face.
So Lisa wasn't bullshitting us at all, because like our hero, Lisa K. Ruitz, I did a little research myself. Margie was at that hotel. The kids were at the hotel, as in Dawn's grandkids. And like ICU just said, that is why Justin purchased the tents for that family. Exactly. And I put that up. Justin sent it to me yesterday. I felt bad for Justin doing that, because I was like, I didn't doubt you at all. But then I thought maybe his feelings were hurt because I said I like ICU better than him. But I promise he slept okay last night. So they didn't want them to see the police, because they picked them up from a homeless shelter or one of the churches, like Lisa Jetton said. And it's a pattern of behavior. Like Jody Sue said, they had transients at their house all the time. Why? I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, they're on well water. Candace doesn't take a bath herself. So you want to use more water up on top of that hill? What was really going on? Why was Lisa Jetton, who, by the way, is able-bodied, obviously she is because she's had 6 fucking kids, why did she need to be in their shed?
I heard, Justin, I heard Justin pull back on it today up on Brooks, saying that, the lady's probably just a vagrant and moved on or whatever, That's not true. That's not true, because Justin told me he was looking for this woman too, that he was looking and he couldn't find her as well. And he was inquiring on it, and he believed that something might have happened to her. That's why he was checking into it, because he was pretty sure that some shady shit happened as well. And I believe it did. I believe freaking Goggles. I believe that Goggles right there was at that church that day where they met up, the food place where they hand out food. I believe this weirdo was there. And I believe this weirdo is what ended up taking that woman and her 3 kids away. That's my opinion. I will keep it.
She's right. Everyone has been introduced to Dawn and Candace through some port, okay? Like Pam Jr., Pamela Wells, her daughter, Pam, okay? She met Lisa at one of the churches they give out food to, okay? Then from there, she met Dawn and Candace. Years later, Lisa meets Candace at the homeless shelter. The next thing you know, Candace is at the house. We heard Jody Sue earlier in the show, and boy, it's been a long show. So they had transients there all the time. I'm just going to say, as of today, I'm thinking right now with all the people that were in their life, it's a lot deeper, and it's not just in Rogersville. It's not just on Beach Creek Road. It's not just on Ben Hill Road. I think there's quite an operation going on. So you tell me, if you're watching in the replay, you tell me what you think, and I will see you tomorrow morning. You guys are the absolute best, and I really, really, really appreciate you all being here. And we will obviously continue talking about Summer Wells, because the more we dig in, the more I think something is going to burst from the scenes. Thank you so much, Mod Squad, everyone else for being here. Thank you for all the amazing gifts today. Look at this. Look at this. Ah, a super sticker, memberships, member for 30 months, another super sticker, a more memberships. Oh my gosh, you guys are crazy. So you guys have a great rest of your Wednesday, and I will see you back here tomorrow. So get ready, because we have a lot of stuff to talk about. Love ya. Bye.